Wave Master asked the other day, like, what's the point in lyricism? What's the point?
By the way, what is
The point is
redacted?
that nobody can do what I do. Fuck it, let's go. The first person on earth cursed with my secrets, only to regurgitate my work like you were secrets that hurt. But I was never concerned with the lesson. We were immortal, so I was never concerned with the blessing. I called mom like your daughter was gone. She wasn't shocked, like I just stepped off the plane. Let me get a hold of your pops and stop. How does she have control of this devil? Wait, I'm reporting. Guess the apple ain't far from the kennel, so now it's just paperwork. Logistics in Philly, identifying the body, recovering all her property, seeing if the mortician perm forced her hair properly. Wait, that part is where it got to me. Fucking where is monotony? This shit is just dumb. Called your phone 20 times saying pick up just once, but it was done. You already took your last breath, so now a picture on the wall, so that's left. Let's go.
It's the hope of every father that
Joaquin, you gotta remember,
their son can do better than they
we'll
ever
always be
did.
family and nothing will ever change
My
that.
mom told me a long time, look after my sister. Joaquin,
I love you.
look after yours.
I love the two of you.
DJ Unique.
Let's cut to the punch. Time for the sequel. Jay only been here for months. Shit. And I thought it would only be once. Children, I gotta thank God that we live in deep. All period that is none in a million. Now we got a son in the building. As a father, want a daughter to walk the cotillions. But I feel like I'ma fucking get lost in the ceiling. What if cheerleading has lost its appealing? I'm your father, providing is my first task. Trying to juggle changes.
By the way, what does redacted mean?
Welcome back to Redacted Media. We're bringing you the content as long as you mind your business.
Damn business.
Your damn motherfucking business, all right?
Keep it to yourself.
Before we get started, go ahead and like, subscribe, and do all the things you should be doing on YouTube because that helps us more than you know. I am...
The notification bell.
That too.
I'm
Punch
still
it.
getting the notifications, and I'm here.
Yeah.
You
It
can do
tells,
it too.
tells it's like, hey, did you know that you're live right now?
And I'm like, what?
Oh shit, I am.
Sometimes there's actually been a time where I've been like at work and I've got that notification. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Wait, I
No, I'm
am?
not.
Something else is going on, right? So, yeah, so do your due diligence and we'll bring you the content, but mind your business too. So, I am Redacted or Larmer, however you want to refer to me. And this is my co-host Jake.
I'm Jake or Jakey. And today we are going to be finishing the Wizard in Glass.
Long awaited.
Yes, we have been going over this one for a while. but
I believe I was still in college when we started this book.
I think so, yeah.
So-
Absolutely.
That's been a while.
We had a lot of stuff come up.
For sure. And summer, are a little bit different than the fall months. Got a little bit busy for me. So,
Yeah.
it happens. And we're going to keep on doing it. So, but yeah, we are finally towards the end of this, at least we hope. And part 4 of Wizard in Glass, Stephen King's magnum opus, The Dark Tower. And it's called All God's Chillin' Got Shoes.
That they do.
Yeah.
So we start off by snapping back to reality. Up there goes gravity.
Yeah.
As the quartet is listening to Roland finish up his story.
And they even mentioned that, like time is funny here. But all this got done in one night. And
Simultaneously, one night and several days. is
yes.
what they say.
Yes, it's like it's been hours, it's been days, but I don't feel sore from sitting here
Yeah.
and listening to this old man ramble about his love interest when he was 14.
And like curiously, even Eddie is kind of like, oh yeah, it's like it reminds me when I was doing drugs because when you stop doing drugs, you wake up and feel good, and you're like, what the heck?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm waking up and feeling good, and I'm like, what the heck? What's wrong with me?
It was nice for me to hear the audiobook guy give me Eddie's voice again.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
there we go.
Yeah,
Like I'm back home.
right.
This book was a little bit of a slog for me this time. The
Yeah.
Mage's parts was a little bit of a, oh my God, can we hurry this the fuck up? especially that like I think we had like 2 episodes where we came in here and all we did was talk about Roland and Susan kind of avoiding trouble while fucking, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is unbearable. Usually, I mean, whenever you're just doing it, I would have powered through. You know? What did we lose?
Ruh-roh. Is it me?
My mic. I still got lights on.
You got lights on, yeah?
Let's see. Properties. Default.
My computer just sometimes randomly makes that noise. Nothing's been unplugged or plugged back in, but it will also do the plug back in noise.
All right. I think I'm back.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, snap back to reality. I think. Tell you what. These glasses are great, but they're not that great.
Yeah,
You want to turn into the YouTube channel, see how we sound?
sure.
Just give us some second,
I mean,
a whole bunch of feedback. You know, that's what you come here for, is for us to do diagnostic work and to fix it live on screen.
absolutely.
But you know what? I still prefer this to my video editing days.
You know what? You do sound decent on here.
Not bad. It sounds about like, oh, I should not. I'm coming through that mic or something crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's okay. I need to just turn this off because I'm hearing us from a few seconds ago.
It's weird, ain't it? So yeah, input delay. That's what happens in streaming, is that you cannot see us in the exact time. Even though you're here with us now, we appreciate it, and I am so happy to get through this damn book.
Yeah.
So let's do that. So we're back, and I like the comparison that Eddie made about whenever you're finally clean, waking up without a drug hangover.
Yeah.
I guess it may be. Feels
And,
wrong.
Yeah, and Roland even like gives him shit about it. He's like, oh, this reminds me of when I did drugs. What doesn't? Eddie?
Yeah. Fuck you, Roland. That's
Yeah,
why.
like-
First of all, fuck you. How about that?
Asshole.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So they basically kind of get it, but they still have questions, especially Jake has questions about
Yeah, Jake has a lot of questions.
which is kind of what kids do.
Right,
What
yeah.
about this? What about the Shut up. That's what about it.
Yeah. There's one part before Jake's questions where like, you know, they're still talking about like how they're waking up and like they feel fine, and Roland's even like, yeah, I thought I'd be feeling terrible after telling this, but I feel better than before.
Roland discovers therapy.
Right? Yeah. And Susanna is like, yeah, duh.
Yeah, you finally told somebody, and I mean, it's not even that bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, it's bad that Susan died that
Yeah.
way, and it's bad that Roland, has now begun his Dark Tower thing. But like, who can blame him? I don't think he did many wrong things.
Right. I think it's just I think it's less that like he feels guilt about it or anything, and more like it's just like he's been like shoving those feelings up inside and not thinking about it, and just
For
kinda,
sure.
He definitely seems like the repress those feelings kind of guy for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Think about it all the time, but never talk about it.
yeah, never bring it up, and
Yeah.
just be straightforward and get the job done. Yeah.
Wouldn't know what that's like. But everybody is like at the same time kind of realizes like, oh hey, we got piss.
Mhm.
So like they go off, and when Eddie and Susanna like meet back up together, they're both like crying,
Mhm.
and they don't even have to ask each other why. They're just like, "It's such a sad story."
It is tough. I mean, it gives Rowan a little more humanity, and
Yeah.
seeing that it being taken away from him, seeing the man that you had before. So yeah, I bet it would be more.
It'd be more impactful if somebody was telling you this. And
King should have wrote this in first person.
yeah,
I'm going to say that now. He should have wrote this in first person. We should have had less trips to different points of view. Just wrote it from Roland's first person
absolutely agree.
and gave us that not necessarily unreliable narrator, but just very biased narrator.
like limited.
Yeah, very limited. That was like, no, and take the art form to write it like that. I think that would have been a better choice.
Yeah, and he can do that. I'm reading another book from him right now. That's first person.
What are you reading?
Fairy Tale.
Oh, really? I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I got it for my birthday. I'm just now getting around to reading it. But
I believe it has some connections to the Dark Tower, so watch out.
Right on.
There might be like a
I'll keep my eyes out for it.
adjacent spoiler out there, maybe. So, yeah.
I'll probably just be like, ooh, Dark Tower flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but
Yeah, I recognize this, but I don't know what it is. Yeah,
there's a taste in the air.
a taste of Midworld. Would you buy a cooking book called A Taste of Midworld?
A cookbook called that?
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be like a terrible Fallout cookbook is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. You know, like the video
I mean,
game series.
you would definitely have some like
Gunslinger burritos,
Gunslinger burritos is definitely one of the things. That would be in there.
Popkins.
Yeah. Oh man, what would be some other?
Billy Bumble Dogs.
Oh no. Oh no.
Ah, terrible.
Instead of hot dogs, we call them like oi boys.
Boy, boys. That's great. How do you know, boy?
Yeah. Yeah, chili oi boy. Ew, actually.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, so they go back up to eat the last of their gunslinger burritos, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And they reflect again. They're all amazed about how we don't feel hungry at all.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when they start asking questions. Susanna starts by asking like how long he was gone into the glass, since the story kind of leaves with it or ends with him being
Mm-hmm.
lost in it. And he doesn't really give them a exact time frame,
Mm-hmm.
but basically until they get back to the city.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't snap out of it until Gilead.
Yeah, he's just like, I was in it, I was looking, but nothing was to be found. And he said he was like healing himself too, right? There was some kind of
I think so. Yeah.
beneficial side to it, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I was traveling, but not just in Maryland's Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jake notes that like, the glass must have told him like the rest of the story because you weren't there to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, that's how I know all the other points of view.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, the glass is one that told me everything. Yeah, okay.
But we also find out like he kind of sums some things up that happened in the world. Farson's like was pissed.
Mhm.
Everyone took the glass. And he ended up looking into it a total of 3 more times after leaving Magus.
Yep.
First was like as soon as they got back to Gilead, actually.
Yeah.
Which he says is where it showed him most of the story we just heard.
Yeah.
And then we kind of find out more about how it works.
Yeah.
It shows things to hurt and wound the person watching.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it showed him what was happening because it knew it would hurt him.
How did that hurt Rhea? Is my only.
I think it was just trying and failing. It
Yeah,
was like,
she's just like,
how the fuck can I hurt her?
yeah, and she's just like, oh yeah, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was like just showing her all the awful shit, and instead of like having a bad reaction, she was just like, yeah.
Yeah, this is fucking awesome. Fuck
So
yeah.
it was like, okay, no, let's show her something worse.
Yeah.
And then she was just like, yeah.
Hell yeah. So he looked back into it 3 times, and the first time he saw the tower again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He saw the fall of Gilead and the triumph of the good man.
And then the next time he looked into it was 3 days after
Mm-hmm.
returning to Gilead. His mother was supposed to be due back that night, and I don't know if it actually tells us what he saw. Or no, this is when he saw the tower in the fall of Gilead, and the victory of Farson.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, so everything we did in May just kind of didn't matter.
Didn't matter at all,
Delayed
right? So,
stuff.
fuck
Pushed
it.
it back for a few years.
Yeah.
Cool, wonderful, awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, yeah, you're just three kids. Like, yeah, it is a fantasy story, but realistically, you're 3 kids. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what are you gonna do against
You
them?
didn't, take down Goliath with a stone. It's just, it wasn't, it was like, okay, you might have set him back, but you didn't win the war by just blowing up oil. There's,
Yeah.
the real power of Farson, I believe, what they've tried to show us is that his power of persuasion and get people on his side. You know, so.
And then at one point, he sees a knife, like a poisoned knife, that Farson's nephew had. And so he saw that like that guy was going to use it to kill his father, and so he was able to use that vision to stop it. So I guess the ball sucked at that one.
Yeah, just like you know, maybe they didn't think they'd be able to stop it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the whatever, right?
And then he, let me see. Then she asks, like, well, what else did you see in the glass? Like the third time.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is all I can say for now, but Rhea was not done for me.
Yeah.
Done with me.
Yeah. Which he's, you know, he just told his whole damn life story, but he's like, you know what? I'll hold some things back here.
Yeah.
You guys don't need to know that just yet.
It's not the right time narratively.
Yeah, we need... Structurally, it wouldn't fit right here, okay? You know, we need to really move some things wrong.
But the next morning, they continue down the road. The Thinnies, like, there's more of them now, and they're like warbling so loud that even with the bullets in their ears, they're unable to block it out completely. They're all feeling sick. The Thinnies are actually like starting to overlap with the road, so they're having to be even more careful. And Jake asks Roland if he has any of the Aston left.
Yeah, the Aston, right?
Yep.
Amazing.
And while he's looking for it, Jake asks him, like, hey, did you ever see Clay Reynolds again?
Yeah.
Roland says no, but he knows what happened to him. He's like, yeah, Reynolds joined up with Farson's army, or with some other deserters from our Farson's army, and they ended up like robbing banks, and he and Coral got basically killed.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah, they end up becoming
a botched job, and
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you
so
do?
pretty undignified end for them, but fitting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care about these characters. I was like, you know, whatever, they can go.
I just like that he's like, oh, did you ever see these guys again? Nah, they just kind of like fucked off and got killed.
Yeah, they got fizzled out, and I didn't really give a shit.
I love that. Like, no, not everybody has to be
important.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Jake sees a note under like a windshield that says, "The old woman from the dreams is in Nebraska. Her name is Abigail. The dark man is in the west, maybe Vegas." And I'm like, that's weirdly specific to just leave under a windshield wiper, man.
Yeah. Definitely a strange note to have down in there, right?
Yeah.
And
imagine somebody put that there feeling really clever, and then they just didn't notice it and walked past.
yeah, they're like, you know, somebody will get it. There'll be at least one person that checks underneath this, right?
Yeah. Or like the Man in Black, you know, it's just like watching them from afar.
Yeah.
It's like oh, they're getting that. Wait. What?
Yeah. You didn't like it, right?
Guys.
So where did they? I wanted to talk more about that. Was that before Shoes in the Road?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
We're close to that.
Yeah, I'm seeing where it was in my book, because I did listen to this in audiobook, so I didn't take any notes or nothing. Show it and down our road. So they explain this a little bit more, right? About like, what does Roland say about this? He says like, right here. Jake looked up the gunslinger. In the west, Roland said, dark man, dark tower, and always in the west. Nebraska's west of here too.
Yeah.
That's right. I think she's part of another story.
Yeah, that's what I was about to point out.
Okay, sorry.
They're like, we should go meet up with this Abigail person.
Yeah.
He's like, I think she's part of another story. And then Eddie's like, a story close to this one, next door maybe.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, Abigail's somebody from another King book.
Yes, remember when we first got to Kansas, the Super Flu, which is the Stand.
Okay, she's a character from the
She's
Stand.
like the main good guy in the Stand.
Okay, cool.
And then the Dark Man is in the West, is in Vegas. So yeah, like, oh, that's kind of fucking cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of that kind of stuff. That they're actually not much really happens in Kansas there, but they do go down Highway 70.
Yeah.
For a little bit, and then they take 81 actually straight up. They stop in where I went to college first time in Lynchburg for like a couple of sentences. So, a town of 2,000 people was like, holy shit. King just had to have a map out. It was probably
Absolutely,
like, whatever, there's a town. So that's cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, I liked it though.
But yeah, I loved that. Like, oh no, she's from another story.
Yeah, he just knows. Like,
I was like, King.
yeah. I need a copy of The Stand really bad, honestly. I can't believe I don't have a physical copy of it. I need to get one.
That is wild to me because you told me that's like your favorite King novel, right?
It was before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
After the pandemic hit, I'm like, damn.
It's a little too close to home.
I'm in a healthier place now because I think at a time I would have reveled in that kind of irony of reading about this while in one. And I started it and I got through it because I was in a boring job and I didn't enjoy my time through it this time just because I was like, this feels like rubbing dirt in a wound, and not really doing much. Like, okay, this isn't helping my situation at all.
Honestly, I was kind of expecting there to be like a boom of stories and games like that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just not happened yet. But I'm like,
I kind of hope we don't. Like all of the fiction that
I hope we don't. But I feel like it's coming.
I'd like to see that this is not represented in media at all.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, even stories that take place now. I didn't want to see stories with a whole bunch of people wearing masks.
Yeah.
It just wasn't what I wanted. I was like, I don't need that in my getaway.
Right.
There's some things you can't escape when it comes to fiction and in the same world. If you have was it Kermit caused 9/11 indirectly or something?
One of my favorite shitpost fan theories for sure.
Just inadvertently somehow he goes back in time. He's good. 9/11, like, hey, it's here. But yeah, if he actually does something, he fucking causes it. That's amazing.
That is so funny to me.
But yeah, so a different story. One next door. I love that term.
Yeah.
A world like next door to us, because there's obviously door imagery a lot in here with drawing of the three and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like that.
And then yeah, that was just
I really wanted to see a Scooby-Doo and Globetrotters fucking reunion here when I first read. When I went back to read this, I was like, oh, that'd have been so fucking cool, because this was my 4th ever King book. I started on Gunslinger and I read these 7 straight through. That was my first 7 King books ever.
Yeah.
So whenever I started expanding into the expanding universe, that I was like, oh, I recognize more things. So now going back through, this doesn't make a lot more sense. I remember them going to Kansas, but I thought it was just more of a play on the Wizard of Oz thing, which we see. It was up here in a bit. And that's what you call, I don't know, foreshadowing. Or what's it called when it happens in like a podcast or a news? If they're trying to set something up. Transition? No? I don't know.
Not a transition, because that would be we're going right into it.
Yeah. I don't know. But here we go. What about Shimi?
What about Sheemy?
I love that Jake's the one to ask that too.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake asks about Sheemy, and he says that he followed him, or Sheemy followed them and did actually meet up with them, and was with them at the start of their search for the tower.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, we'll probably see more Sheemy in future books, like in flashbacks or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool. I just kind of thought it was going to be like
Shimi stayed there and lived out his day.
Yeah, like Shimi met up with us in Gilead, and then we went off without him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we know like Gilead falls, so that would kind of be, I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe he died in that fight or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah. I wouldn't put Shimi in a fight.
Well, yeah, no.
He just be calling people big old
he's
sons of
just,
bitches.
Like a civilian who doesn't make it out of town or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that is pretty much the end of. No, so Suzanne asks about Aunt Cord,
Mm-hmm.
and he says that she died sometime during the fire that night.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been that she had a heart attack or a stroke, a brainstorm, but he's not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
He just knows that she died the same day Susan did.
He knows a lot of information. Ball must have told him, I guess. I don't know, because
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. He got that.
I can't imagine there's much correspondence between Magus and Gilead, right?
He's just got a pen pal there.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Like, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened.
The farty sheriff is like writing him letters.
The farty chair.
Farty sheriff.
Oh, it's a farty chair. I was like, what the fuck you done? Oh my god! All right.
And then, as the chapter is ending, is when they see like 6 pairs of shoes in the road.
Yeah.
And they go up and check the shoes out. They realize, oh, it's not 6 pairs of shoes. It's 4 pairs, and then 1 set of 4 because they're little booties for away.
Yeah.
They're all red shoes.
Yeah.
For Susanna, they are like. They kind of described them as like things that go over her stumps. Like I know that there's a word for it. I don't know if I actually.
What was it called? Yeah.
But yeah, they go over the stumps of her legs.
Cappies is what she called
Cappies?
them. Yep.
Okay.
Cappies.
Jake and Eddie both kind of get like, or I think Jake gets some tennis shoes. Eddie gets some like work boots, kind of. Roland, of course, gets some red ass cowboy boots.
Fashionably gay, Roland.
Like when I was imagining him walking around with them. Have you watched Time Met Your Mother?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, his red boots.
The red cowboy boots. I forgot about that.
I was like, I just was thinking about Ted's red cowboy boots.
Totally pulling them off.
Yeah, totally pulling them off.
Oh God. Yeah. See, if I was editing, I would throw in a clip here, but
Yeah.
I'm not, so I won't. So go fucking do it yourself.
Yeah, just imagine it.
Yeah.
Imagination.
All right.
And then so they pick up the shoes. They're not so eager to put them on yet because they're like, well, this is weird.
Yeah.
But they decide to just.
Oh shit.
Huh?
Nothing.
Okay.
Joe's. That's a Discord call, and I am using his mic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And Roland kind of notices again, like, you know, these 4 or the other 3 are part of a quartet that he's not incredibly part of. He's like on the border of it, maybe, but he's not like part of the group.
Yeah.
Which, interesting move for sure.
To not say that he's really that quartet. He's probably already. I mean, I don't know if they say only one.
Like
One
you can
per.
only be part of one quartet.
Yeah.
Or something? Oh.
But yeah, his quartet has passed, and this is a new one that he is responsible for bringing together, but he's not in it.
It's interesting.
Which, whatever, you know.
Yeah. And so yeah, they're talking about like what the shoes could mean. And
they obviously connect it to Wizard of Oz and
yeah,
Dorothy,
eventually,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Jake is holding them in his hands and he like clicks the heels together 3 times. And Eddie and Susanna immediately like, oh, he's referencing the movie.
I get it. Yeah. So.
Which is just very, very cute and funny to me.
Yeah.
But then I kind of lost my place. Sorry. Oh yeah. So they ask him, you know, like, did you? They kind of asked him some more probing questions about traveling in the ball. And he's like, well, I never traveled in it again like that first time.
Yeah.
I saw glimpses in it, but it never sucked me in so completely.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I was like, okay, cool. But I don't know why that's randomly in the middle there, but then they start talking about the shoes again.
I think they're trying to connect the wizard, the wizard's glass to the tornado that took Dorothy away.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
And they do mention in here that, like, you know, Rhea showed up as the Wicked Witch in that vision.
But she wasn't riding a broom. She was riding a bicycle in the movie, and
Yeah. And I don't remember if it's here now or here or later, but there's one part where like Jake imitates the Wicked Witch of the West by being like, "I'll get you, my pretty." And,
Yeah.
like Roland like cringes like, "Oh." Like Jake just punched him or something. It's like she's here in the room.
Yeah.
Roland's never heard anybody do an impression before.
I couldn't. I wonder if impressions would be a big thing in old time. Like, is there enough? Maybe just impressions of people you know,
Right? Yeah.
but there
like,
wouldn't be like,
like mocking.
yeah, yeah.
Like Cuthbert's definitely done that.
Oh,
yeah. Like making
Oh,
fun of-
I think he did it in this book. He put on an impersonation of the Mage's accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
sure
know.
did.
So
Yeah, they decide that the shoes are another damn riddle.
yeah,
And Jake's pissed. He's like, "God damn it! I thought we were done with these stupid things."
I don't think you are, Jakey, my guy. Just to
Yeah.
let you know.
We still got a few books left.
Yeah, there's gonna be some riddling, some stuff you're gonna have to figure out because it's not all just gonna be shooting down fucking slow mutants or nothing like that, you know.
But yeah, then they start talking about like, flying monkeys and the, little dog too.
Yeah.
And Roland is kind of standing off to the side, like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And then he says, "I would share your kef, and I would share it now." So he's basically like, "Shut up and tell me what you're talking about."
Yeah. What's going on here? You know.
And so they just kind of then take some time to like explain in detail the Wizard of Oz and movies.
Yeah.
And like, "Oh well, yeah, there were quite a few other books and a weird other movie made afterwards. But I think only the first movie is important.
Yeah.
Only the first story is important to what we're going through."
They even bring up the Oz, and it's
The Wiz.
the Wiz. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. And yeah, that movie's strange. It is out there. I mean, Wizard of Oz is already,
Yeah.
but the 80s feel it's probably late 70s actually for the Wiz.
Yeah. So that feels
Probably.
right.
I mean, I didn't think Michael Jackson was that big yet. I think he was just like, do this, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's strange. Like it has very. You ever seen the movie The Warriors?
Yeah.
It has that kind of a feel. It's like,
yeah.
especially like the roller coaster that Dorothy and Scarecrow are in The Wiz. It's very. I don't know. It's just strange to me.
It was. I liked them mentioning it just because Jake was like, "Oh yeah, there's even like a remake with an all black cast," and Susanna was like, "Oh shit,
Like,
hell yeah,
Really?
okay, cool." And then they just
Alright.
kind of like didn't make a deal. I just like this. She's like, "Oh hell yeah, okay."
I love so this is going for my I think I get one of these in an episode, an Always Sunny reference. And this reminds me of they're talking about the episode is called The Gang Turns Black. And
Oh no.
they're watching they're watching The Wiz with this like long story short, a homeless black man has to sleep in the bed with two of them because of a
Okay.
bet they made. So they have this character, old black man, they call him because they never give him a name. And they're watching The Wiz because it's his night to pick the movie, and they get shocked by lightning because they're all wearing like heated blankets or some shit. And they wake up and they're all black. That's what it is. Like they have different characters playing them whenever they look in the mirror.
Okay.
And they're talking about it like The Wiz, like why did they even make that? You know, I wouldn't want to see Orlando Bloom in Boys in the Hood. And they're like, yeah, it's ridiculous. I'd watch it. You're like, yeah, I'd watch it. It's a pretty good damn movie. It's like, oh my god, just amazing. That the show's great. I'm a big fan, big advocate for Always Sunny.
I really need to watch more of it. I've seen like a handful of episodes.
Some
and
of them
I
are
love what I
slow.
watch.
And
I love what I've watched.
if you approach it knowing that these are not supposed to be rootable characters,
Oh yeah, no, they are the butt of the joke.
yes,
for
that's
sure.
what it is. Like even that they have like even episodes where both sides are against us, like gun control. They have 3-4 episodes I think all about it, about like gun fever. It's too hot, and one of them are like for against guns, one of them are for making it you shouldn't have guns, and they're both taking the wrong sides of those points.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like one of them that says that there's not they need to have more weapons on the street instead of a gun to bring to protect a school. He brings a samurai sword. He ends up cutting himself as he's unsheathing it and like gets an infection and shit.
Oh my god.
The show's amazing. It's best show on TV. All right,
All right.
The Wiz. Go watch The Wiz if you haven't seen it. It's worth seeing at least once. I'd say so. If you've seen, I mean, as classic as Wizard of Oz is, I'd say the wizards we're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. And they eventually mention like the Wizard of Oz that they meet, and he's like, "Why'd you call him a wizard?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's was his title. I don't fucking know. Like,
Yeah, wizards are a
back
lot
off,
more
buddy.
commonplace in our
Yeah.
world than yours. You know,
Um,
well, not actual wizards, but
yeah, which is funny because like they are way more prevalent in like our media.
Yeah.
Than like, but if in Roland's world they exist, but
It's-
they are not talked about.
I bet it's kind of like pirates.
Yeah.
How pirates back in the day, it was not a good thing to know of a pirate, to someone to be a pirate, and now pirates are kind of cool. It's just like,
Oh yeah, One
it's
Piece.
a cool pirate, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You say One Piece?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, so
it's too damn long. Don't worry about it.
I have
It's been going on since we were in middle school.
I have somebody at work that's been trying to watch it during work hours
Yeah,
for like the last month, and it's still not done.
I don't know how you would do that at your job. That's interesting.
They're not at my level; they're below me,
Okay.
so it makes a little more sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying.
And then they explain like, oh well, he wasn't a real wizard. He was just a guy using like tricks and kind of hiding behind a curtain. And
He's a bum hug.
yeah, they call him a humbug. And
Sorry if I stole your thunder, but
no, you're good. So I almost forgot to mention that.
oh, did you? Okay.
They in explaining that he's a fraud, they call him a humbug.
Yeah.
And then Roland's like, "What's a bum hug?" And Jake and Eddie die at that.
Yeah. Like, oh my god.
And so Eddie just keeps bringing it up throughout the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Just kind of as a, like, he even mentions it's one of those things kids like. It's just like a silly little joke that tomorrow will be nothing to them, but today it's gonna kill them.
Yeah,
every
it's gonna
time.
hit your funny bone every single time.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you probably cry laughing if you
And,
play on it
so
enough.
he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna say it and then like give Jake the look. And so after they tell him about the story, Roland's like, well, should we put these shoes on then? I'm like, I don't feel like it's the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they keep walking, and they've kind of realized like, well, this glass city in front of us is kind of green.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, it's the Emerald City.
Mm-hmm.
They in the next section they get up to the Green Palace, and they're talking about like, oh, it's beautiful, but we don't trust it.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that like we kind of get in Jake's perspective, he's like, he says something about how it doesn't look how he'd expect it, but that makes sense because he's like, it's probably drawing on what I would expect it to look like, what Eddie would expect it to look like, what Susanna would expect it to look like,
Mm-hmm.
and then like what we'd expect from reading the book instead of watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that is interesting. I like that.
Yeah, pretty insightful for
Yeah.
them, to think that this thing is actually drawing from them and their own experiences with this. It's kind of a reminder that we don't have the same view as Jake. What color is Jake's hair?
Brown?
So you said, he's towhead blonde. They mentioned it in the first book, and I forget every single time.
That he's what blonde?
Like platinum blonde. It's called like
Okay.
towhead, I believe.
I've never heard that phrase.
Oh, really?
before.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I like that.
very, very blonde, and I don't ever think of him as blonde.
No.
Like never.
Huh.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, never think of him as a blonde kid.
All right, so he's Legolas.
Yeah. Oh no. Terrible.
Which is funny because they did mention like at one point like after like traveling with them for a while after getting him out of the door, how like he's gotten tanned and like started looking different. So I'm just imagining like a tan kid with that like white ass Legolas
Very
hair.
blonde hair, yeah.
That sounds funny to me.
It doesn't seem right. I mean, I
Right.
picture him as a brown haired kid. I
Yeah.
mean, like a traditional like 70s haircut, just
Bowl cut.
Yeah.
For sure.
maybe not bowl cut. I was thinking more of like
Nah,
a,
he's got a bowl cut for
okay,
sure.
he's got a bowl cut now in my head.
Yeah.
What does a bowl cut look like after like 3 months of not maintaining it? I mean, it's probably just weird looking. I don't know.
That would be really funny. Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know.
Yeah. So as they get closer to the tower, or to the not tower. The
Whoa.
palace, yeah.
What book are we in?
Well, they called it like it says it's like a glass tower at one point.
That is actually the inspiration behind my thumbnail. I have on one side the Emerald City and on the other side the Dark Tower.
I didn't actually see what the thumbnail was this week.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. Real
That's the
quick.
inspiration. A little artist inspiration.
Oh, that is
yeah.
Hell yeah, I like
So,
that.
yeah.
And you even got the orb there.
I didn't make this. I just found these.
Yeah, yeah.
If I was this good of an artist, I'd make it blend a little bit better. But now I'm like, I'll just put like a street because we're redacting media. And there we go.
And then they see like the banners with like the eyes of the Crimson King, and they're like, "Wait, who's the Crimson King? How do we know who the Crimson King is?" And then they ask Roland about it, and he's like, "I don't know who the Crimson King is."
And I feel like we've had. He does. He talks to fucking the girl he gives the abortion to in Toll, and she
Yeah.
talks about the Crimson King.
Is she the one who brought it up, or was he?
I don't know.
So maybe it's just like he's heard the name.
Okay, but he doesn't know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did like that. They're like, wait a second, how do we know? Roland, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And Roland's just like, I don't know.
I love that my book gives me a drawing of an eye. that's all.
I'm pretty sure they used that eye before too.
Yeah,
That
but I
looks
mean,
very familiar.
if
to
you
me.
didn't know what an eye looks like, here it is.
Well, it's very important that you know what the specific eye looks like.
I know this doesn't happen, but I'm imagining King with an old school typewriter, pressing enter a whole bunch of times,
He just
pulling
draws
it out, and then drawing an eye and slapping it on the manuscript. And like, yeah, now they'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah. That would be fantastic. Yeah. And they're all checking it out, and they're like, "Well, I don't think it's a bad place. We're not getting a bad vibe from it. We're also not getting a good vibe."
Do you know what Alabama's Crimson Tide is in reference to?
Isn't Alabama where there's Roll Tide also?
Yeah.
Is Crimson like their like school colors or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually the name that's their mascot. They are the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh. Okay.
Based on the information, I will give you my next paycheck if you can guess what their mascot is. I get paid once a month, people, so it's worth a little bit of money.
Yeah, this is a.
Yeah.
All right, so Alabama Crimson Tide
Yeah.
mascot.
Yeah. Jake isn't a big sports guy. If I make this into a clip, this will be the background information you will know.
Is it a bull?
It's not. You're actually very close.
Yeah?
It's an elephant. Why? Don't know. Alabama, Crimson Tide. You know, the place has known for its waves and tides, Alabama.
Yeah.
And they're naturally occurring elephants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very strange. Like
the reason I guess bull was I was thinking like, you know, these are an animal that can like be in a herd and like maybe like stampede together. So maybe like a stampede of bulls would look like a tide or something.
That's actually a really good one, yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe.
And that'd play a lot better than a fucking elephant. You know, like, what is? I don't know, but yeah, Alabama.
I love that. That's fantastic.
It's an ass backward state from start to finish. You know? There's nothing going right in that state.
Yeah. That's hilarious. And then at one point Jake just knows, oh, it's not really the Crimson King signals, it's John Farson's signal by.
You got that backwards. It's not John Farson's, it's really the Crimson
Oh,
Kings.
oh yes, I did write that.
Okay.
backwards.
No, you're fine. I was just yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the hierarchy. I believe Crimson King
Yeah.
above that. John Farson. Then Walter? They met Walter, or wait, no, Randall. Randall Flagg.
Yeah.
And then maybe Walter is down there doing things.
But
So
I thought, okay,
he's dead though.
yeah.
So
Well,
maybe. I don't know. You saw bones, but Roland was unconscious.
right, and yeah. So they now they're trying to like figure out kind of how to get in because it's got a big gate around it,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't seem like they can really climb over it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They notice has like an orb of every color, so they're like, oh, these are representing all the Wizard's rainbow.
Because we had been told that there were more than one glass, right?
Yeah.
That had been okay.
Yeah, one for every color.
How many
Of the
colors is
rainbow.
in rainbow? 8. Is black a part of a rainbow?
Roy G. Biv, so 7.
7. Violet instead of purple. Should be Bip. Roy G. Bip. You know. Fuck is Violet? Get out of here.
But it's pink, and that's not.
And there's a black ball, which
Yeah.
spoiler alert, but that's way down the line. Actually, I believe there's 12
Yeah.
because black is number 13. Yeah, there's a whole thing about that. I don't remember what book that's in, but I do remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have another. I believe we have another one in the next book. Actually, I don't think there's nothing important, but there's another one in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do they all do the same thing, or do they like all have different?
I forget
Yeah.
exactly what. I believe you could see into them, but I don't remember their exact functions at all. I haven't read past this book since my very first time through, or actually
Yeah.
past 5. So I've read 5, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then so they look closer and they see that there's like creatures imprisoned inside the glass bars of the gate. Like there's tiny mermaids living in myths no bigger than grains of sand. I was like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? They got like sea creatures, sea monkeys. Just
They got sea monkeys and they're like, oh, these are mermaids.
oh my
They
god.
get inside and the wizard's like, did you see my aquarium?
And if they can hold water and be see-through, you can just break through this gate.
Unless it's like really thick glass.
Yeah. You're right.
Like,
And if they were like super close together, it'd be
yeah.
okay.
He's got like a bulletproof glass aquarium for a gate.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Another one of them has tiny birds inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Roland's like, well, these creatures might not be real, but I wouldn't put it past whoever made this. And so like, okay, they're probably real. Or
Yeah.
They're supposed to look like they are.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We actually do get the black one here because it says Eddie notes that there are 12 colored bars with the 13th bar black in the middle.
Mm.
It's a wizard's gate, Eddie says. Each bar has been made to look like one of the balls of Merlin's rainbow. Eddie, how do you know this? He's just like, oh, this is a wizard's gate.
Yeah.
Oh, did you look that up when
Yeah.
you were sober between binges? Like, what do you mean?
What is a wizard's gate?
That too.
You know, even if he says, "Oh, like no connection to the reader,"
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Maybe because they're wizards, balls, things are happening. They're at a place known to. There should be a wizard behind this gate because it's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some kind of leap in connection there, but I don't. Nah. Let's just open this fucking gate. Come
Right.
on.
So, they try to like, or he reaches out and like grabs the gate and like shakes it, but nothing happens besides scaring everybody else. And Jake just is like, wait, no, that's not the way. We have to put on the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, just be like, we should try the shoes. Don't be like, no,
We have to.
I know
Yeah.
we have to do.
Yeah.
That's not the way to open the gate.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, y'all want to try the shoes? Like, maybe.
And be like, oh yeah, I just said this was a riddle. Maybe this is part of it.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah, so they all go ahead and put on their shoes. And Jake makes a note of being like, oh, we all look very stupid wearing these. Because they're not just like red shoes, they're like bright red. Like some of them have like diamonds encrusted in them.
Rhinestones.
Or rhinestones.
What was it? Fucking, they had like
Rhinestone
Djibouti
cowboy.
dubs. Have you ever heard of them?
Djibouti dubs. I feel like that is a word I have heard.
They
I
used to
cannot
do
think of it.
dubs over like Billy Mays
Okay.
advertisements, and one was rhinestones, fucking rhinestones. It's just I mean, I recommended you a great movie last week. Okay, this might be a better one. I used to laugh. I mean, I'd watch these. They're so dumb. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll watch a little before you go.
I'll definitely have to look that up because, like, now that you say it like that, I'm like, oh, I do think I've heard of this.
Yeah, you probably have. It wasn't really big, like whenever we were in school, but Cody McCall and I found it.
Yeah.
And we would watch it like once a morning. Like he'd come over to my house and we'd watch this, laugh our ass off, and go out about our day, you know?
Oh yeah. So they all decide to like start clicking their heels together.
Yeah.
But nothing happens.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wait a second. We forgot about Oi.
Yeah.
And so we get a little scene of like them putting the little booties on Oi, and then him like rolling over onto his back and like kicking his legs and not knowing what he's supposed to do. I'm like, that's adorable.
Amazing, right?
Like, I can't wait for that to be on screen so I can watch that.
I'm telling you. There's so much. I mean, you do it right, and maybe even have Oi be like following the gunslinger before like Raptor told.
Oh yeah.
You know, introduce him there. Gunslinger doesn't like him. Like, no, leave me alone. I fucking hate you. You know, finds Jake. Jake takes a liking to him. Drops Jake. Oi says fuck off. Leaves. Comes back around the time that Eddie comes back. You know, you could have this damn dog looking thing and have it a big part of this fucking series, and then sell the absolute shit out of the merchandise.
That's your mascot, dude. Hell
yes,
yeah.
you know,
Oi is your Pikachu.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be that strange to have it here because it fits into the story canonically. Like it's supposed to be here, but it being that little cute would be a great contrast for the gunslinger.
Absolutely.
Make this a little bit more likable and not as just weird and following this fucking murderous asshole.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking Terminator robot with a fucking Pikachu with it. You know? That just says things. Oi.
Oi.
Yeah. And maybe Roland could give him the name. Like, get out of here, boy. And then, oi.
Oi.
Just
Oi.
run around. Yeah, it'd be great.
And then, Jake's like, oh, what's his name? And like, it doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
Oi.
Oi. Oi. Ache.
God, I love Oi.
He's great.
Yeah.
And he's totally not going to die on a tree.
I forgot about that. Thanks.
Shit.
And so yeah, they get Oi to like click his heels together and like
holding his feet.
pretty much. Like they have to kind of do it for him because like that's not how dog bones work.
No, they don't. They're not supposed to make their feet touch. That's not how that works.
Yeah, like it can happen, but it's not an
Okay.
easy thing. For
So
sure.
on this, what part of Susanna's legs are her heels?
I mean, I just think like the bottom of her stumps is what they're counting probably.
Yeah, it has to be right.
Yeah.
You ain't got no heels, Lieutenant
She just
Dan.
kind of smacks like the. I think it's like right under her knees, right?
I believe it's above her knees.
Above her knees.
I believe so. I don't think she has knees.
Yeah. Okay. So like, that she probably just like touched her legs together. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so once Oi does that, the black bar in the middle of the gate like shatters, and then the gate splits apart.
So was there anything in the black bar? Did they just kill a whole bunch of mermaids?
They couldn't see anything in the black bar. All the other ones were clear enough that they could see things in.
Now, if this is on screen, that would be a smoky black bar where I would see shit from like The Mist.
Yeah.
Incredibly disfigured, ugly creatures that are nasty, gross, yucky. And that would be fun. Leathery wings. The big thing in The Mist, the books.
Yeah.
That so creepy. Having skin be that thin and like make that it's gross.
Kind of like a bat almost.
Yes, exactly like a bat is what they, and more like, and also kind of like a what's the bird? What's the dinosaur? Oh my god, pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what I'm really thinking. Like anytime they depict that in media, you know, it's their wings are gross.
Yeah.
That one gets to
And so yeah, they make their way inside.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, there's a box with a newspaper there, like a newspaper box. He opens it up, and we get a long thing of them reading the paper. But he's kind of skimming through it, so he gets like the Oz Daily Buzz, volume 1568, number 96. Daily Buzz, handsome as handsome does. Weather, blah blah. Gone, lucky numbers, none. Blah blah blah. Well, and like the narrator is like blah blah blah, yak yak yak, blah blah blah, yak yak yak.
See, I believe that
few
that
minutes
was
almost.
actually printed on the paper. That's how I saw it.
Oh yeah, I thought it was just Eddie being like blah blah blah. Yeah, it's not important.
See, this feels like a Randall Flagg joke,
Yeah.
not an Eddie actually trying to like go through and be verbatim.
Yeah.
This felt like something he would create, that
that's
has
awesome.
nothing on there. So that's how I read it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was especially God. It feels like it was almost on like a soundboard. His blahs were so precise.
Yeah.
And it was like in like quatrains, like groups of 4, and it was like this is very strange to listen to. It's one of those that I kind of put my phone away from me while I was driving. Like this is gonna fucking hypnotize me or something.
Well, if you're off the side of the road.
Yeah, fucking that's what the thinny sounds like. Blah 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 blah
yak,
blah blah.
yak,
Yak 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 yak.
That's. But there is one part in the paper where it does say something like Blaine is a pain. It also says something about the Sharu tree.
Mm-hmm.
Go slow past the drawers.
Mm-hmm. Which we've had that referenced.
Yeah, wasn't the drawers like the bad neighborhood basically?
Yes, it was a bad place. That's where Odetta took the blue plate to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Odetta? No, Detta. Detta did. Odetta's the good one. Yes.
Yeah.
Detta is the bad one.
But below the text is actually like a photo of the group,
Mm-hmm.
like seconds ago as they were crossing the courtyard, and they're like, "What the hell?
What the fuck?
How?
Yeah.
How did that happen?"
Yeah.
And it says, "Tragedy in Oz. Travelers arrive seeking fame and fortune, find death instead."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, asshole. Cool.
Yeah. Something's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie's a little like disturbed and freaked out by it. Of course, Roland's like, just ignore it. It's a joke. It's just trying to mess with us.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie's like, no, actually, I don't think this is a joke. Me, Mr. Jokey, haha. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a joke.
Yeah, I lived with Henry Dean for X amount of years. I know when there's a plot to psych me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roland's like, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I like the exchange here that Roland's like, don't be afraid of this, Roland. And Eddie's like, I'm not afraid. And da 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 da. And you're the one that looks afraid. Roland, I'm terrified, Roland said simply. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. That's more scary than anything you can fucking put. Him just telling you that he's scared? Hell yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah. No, and just very calmly, like, yes.
Yeah, I'm terrified. Like, wow.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
okay. We're fucked.
Yeah.
And then, so they walk up to like the doors of the building. And like it says bell out of order, please knock. So Roland's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, it's from the story.
Mhm.
It's not
Mhm.
actually. And then they just open the doors, which killed me. They're like, no, don't. It's a reference. You don't get it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, inside joke. Don't. We'll be all right. Keep going.
And so like they're walking through the halls, like everything's really quiet and echoey. They can really only hear themselves. And Eddie's like, "Do we have to do this?" And Roland's like, "Yeah, it's the only way to get back to the beam. However we get back there, we have to go through here."
Yeah.
And so they enter into like a big room, and like the door slams shut behind them.
Yeah.
Like, and the other three realize like, oh, we are in Oz's throne room now. And Eddie like does like a
I'm good.
okay. Eddie does like a cowardly lion impersonating, like, I don't want to see the wizard. I'll wait outside.
And really good job by our audiobook guy.
Yeah.
Sounded just like him. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that dude was fantastic.
Yeah.
And let me see, they hear a weird like thrumming sound, and Jake realizes like, oh, this is basically like the same sound that we were hearing in Lud. It's like the sound of machinery. Of their weird computers that they had down there.
Yeah, what were the names of those? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but
Yeah.
Oh, this was it. The slow
So
trans?
it's slow trans, SLO trans. I didn't know that either.
And so now Jake is like freaking out because he's like having flashbacks to Blaine, and to like his encounter with the Gasher Man.
Yeah.
And so Roland comforts him, and he's like, "Hey, you know, whatever you're feeling, like it's an illusion. It's just trying to scare you. You'll be okay." And then they see another sign that says like, it's from Dante's Inferno: "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here."
Yeah.
And they said like they entered into a new room, and what laid beyond it was like a weird combination of the Wizard of Oz and Blaine the Mono.
Yeah.
And God, I want to see that.
I'm telling you. Especially just the stark contrast between these road weary and weathered travelers to something like this would just be cool. That's all I'm saying.
Like,
you know?
Like we maybe get like a shot that's like kind of like the interior of when they're inside Blaine.
Yeah.
But it's also all like bright and green and
Yeah.
like crystalline, like it's made out of glass. And then maybe like just some parts are still like made of like velvet and stuff, like the seats.
I don't know if this is connected in my mind because I was the same age while watching it. But what is the god for Power Rangers? What's the god? Zardon?
Oh, Zardon, yeah.
Zardon. And Wizard of Oz.
Zordon.
Very strong connection for me.
Yeah.
And like their floating faces.
Yeah, definitely.
Very
visually.
strong. Like if I cannot think of one without the other.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because, probably about the age I was really into Power Rangers, the first time I ever saw Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
The rooms are kind of similar, I guess. Not necessarily, but
But,
big
like,
thing in front with a group of people to the side.
Yeah, and then like big, kind of like gaseous face.
Yeah.
That's bald and
Yeah.
gigantic. I definitely get that.
So here, Roland and them are going to get their Super Ranger powers.
Yeah, they get their morphers. And,
The real question is, what color is each person here? I'm going to go off.
Roland's the Red Ranger, obviously,
Okay.
because the Red Ranger's always like the leader.
Okay. I was going to say, unless you gave us Tommy and the White Ranger. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you red. If we're going original, like, was it 5?
Well, I mean, like that's kind of just like almost like a through line of like the entire franchise. It's
Yeah.
like the Red is always the leader.
Okay. Okay.
And then let me think.
The tough part here is what color is Joy. I think we can give him pink or yellow, just because we only have one girl in the group, so we gotta give him pink or yellow.
I think he's yellow because yellow.
They
is
do
like
give a
this-
lot of black girls yellow though. That's
They
all
do.
I'm saying.
They do.
They do that a lot for some reason.
I was gonna say that he's yellow because yellow is like the saber-toothed tiger.
Okay. Okay.
And so that is like the most fitting for him.
I'll give him that. So we have red and black left. If we've narrowed down Susanna being pink,
Yeah.
which is I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Little on the nose, but it's
Yeah.
probably better than yellow, honestly. Because why do black girls gotta be yellow? I don't know. Whatever.
No, yeah, a lot of series they do have that. You're right.
For some reason, it's strange. Well,
Yeah.
each character just kind of fit an archetype of like the blonde hair, blue eyed guy is gonna be blue. That's just the color that they get,
And the blue ones usually kind of like also the smarter,
Yeah.
nerdier ones.
Which why does that? Okay, it's like gender being things being gendered and things being tied to color. It don't make no sense, but it makes all the sense in the fucking world. Like you're right, blue is smarter than red, but red is a better leader.
Yeah.
Why I don't know.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. It's like red is like the leader. He's the one who's like good at making decisions.
Yeah.
And blue is always kind of like the tech guy almost.
Black is usually the jokester too.
Yeah.
So that's Eddie.
That's Eddie.
And I bet Jake is probably smart.
Yeah. Well, because he talks about all those damn books he reads.
I'm
Like,
telling you,
when
yeah.
He's like still in New York.
Yeah.
In
The Piper School?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Mr. Know-It-All. He's like, oh yes, this plane is like he knows the model.
I
of plane
forgot
that
about that.
comes
He's like
first.
9 years old, and he knows everything about Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
As us two 30-year-olds just sitting here talking about Power Rangers.
Weird special interest, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. Which of the 5 is the most likely to fall down the alt-right pipeline? Probably not Susanna, because she's
It's Jake.
It's Jake.
It's Jake.
Maybe Eddie. Maybe.
Yeah.
Only because I could see him being like that white trash, doesn't like other ethnicities.
Yeah.
Because he thinks everything is someone else's fault in
Yeah.
the beginning. But maybe he comes out of it with heroin.
Well, heroin made me a better person.
Heroin made me not racist. Sponsored by heroin.
No, I was thinking like, Jake
Jesus
probably,
Christ.
Jake probably like, gets on TikTok. He sees like, before the algorithms figured out what he likes.
Yeah.
He sees like a Ben Shapiro destroying somebody with facts and logic.
Oh, I will tell you. I started following one account that is a sports humor account.
Okay.
It's called 3 Year Letterman. He's a guy that I like and retweet some of his stuff, where he just makes one of his main jokes is that another football coach financed their waterbed instead of paying for it outright with cash.
Financed their waterbed.
Yeah, it's just stupid jokes like that, and he makes extremely he will go in and under a Joe Biden tweet and talk about how gerrymandering won him in the election, he didn't get elected for the last 2 years. He'll make just extremely wrong posts. That's what he's trying to do. He's trolling and using this persona of somebody that peaked in high school. He says that on a
Wait, is this the same guy who's me as a former high school football coach?
Yes, and he's the youth football coach.
Yeah.
He says he made his kids have a mandatory 24-hour practice on election day so his parents couldn't vote.
I think I've seen this guy. Yeah.
Okay, I followed that guy because it's fucking hilarious. And the Twitter algorithms recommending me Republican, not just Republican, but very, very Republican senators and stuff to follow is fucking
The algorithm doesn't
insane.
get it's a joke.
It doesn't. It thinks it's fucking actual and that this is the kind of person that I would like. And it's I cannot, ironically, that's whenever you're doing you ever done something ironically and then it became part of your personality? Accidentally saying fam. I've done that by accident, ironically saying fam or shit like that, right?
Right.
And I've used it before and I'm like, oh God, I sound like such a fucking goofball, But that's what Twitter is going to push us. Maybe that's the fucking alt-right pipeline right there. You like something, not ironically, but in a humorous way, and then it just force feeds you all this shit of hate and bigotry. And
Elon's Twitter doing hateful stuff?
imagine, right?
On this Elon's Twitter?
Good job throwing away your $8. Now you can't tweet anymore. Oh God, I hope it crashes and burns, even though I do. It's I love it, but I want it to burn.
I want them to fire him and just Control Z everything.
Oh God.
Control Z everything to 5 months ago.
I actually don't, because I think that if Twitter fails, I think we will be moving out of social media as a culture.
I don't think so.
I don't think TikTok is necessarily social media. That is performative.
Yeah.
So I think Instagram is on its last legs. Facebook is Facebook. And if Twitter starts to become uncool, maybe we can move past. Maybe social media will have been a fad. Can you imagine if...
No.
Oh, God, it'd be such a great... I had just an epiphany the other day of if it could have been. If we could move past this, if it became lame to every single one of us to be on social media, I think we'd heal so much.
Yeah.
As a people. I don't know if it will, but
I don't think so.
I think so.
I do kind of miss when there was more than 3 websites.
Yeah.
And so it'd be cool to go back to that. But no, I think that there'll always be something like this.
I guess I am kind of a social media noob, as much as that is, because I don't do Reddit. I don't do 4chan or any of that other websites. Even whenever they were big, I never Never got into them, so it's just Twitter and Facebook have been like the mainstay for the last decade. So,
yeah. I've heard that there's like a new site called Co-host that's kind of trying to be like a combination of Tumblr and Twitter.
okay.
So I've signed up for an account on that, but they have honestly kind of a cool feature, but one that has also kind of made me forget that I signed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Where after you sign up, you can't post anything for like 2 days.
That's nice. I like that.
They do that to like combat spam and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And until now, I forgot that I had signed up for
Yeah.
it.
Like, oh shit, I can post.
Yeah.
I can be getting my words out there.
Some people are saying Mastodon is going to replace Twitter.
What's Mastodon?
It sucks.
What is it?
It's like Twitter, but to join or to like find any discussion, you have to like join a new server.
It's
like-
Discord, but Twitter?
It's WoW, but Twitter. Like how there's like, oh, you can join the whatever server, and that's where these people will be.
Really? But, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So echo chambers
Yeah.
is where we're going here.
Yeah.
Is that you can,
Yeah.
It's like doing the algorithms work for you. Like telling you, like, no, this is what I want to hear. This is what I want to, yuck.
Yeah, no, it's you're queuing into you're queuing into social media like on Final Fantasy 14.
That's amazing.
It's too much fucking work. And so I was like, no, actually this sucks. And people are like, oh yeah, it's what's going to replace Twitter. It's not unless they do away with that.
I love that, the last 3 years, the amount of blue check marks is on before even Elon, right?
Yeah.
It used to be kind of cool to see someone with a blue check mark. Oh, this is either an athlete, an entertainment politician, something like that, right?
Yeah, like someone who I'm like vaguely friends with on Twitter and like in a couple of Discord servers. They have like a small journalism site, and they got verified because of that, and it was a big deal. Like we were all really happy for them.
Yeah.
And I can just go buy one.
And I love it. I love that we're putting guns in everybody's hands, and it's tearing down, and it's fucking amazing.
What's really stupid to me is that it's actually having an effect on people, because like you would think, oh, there's check marks that anybody can get now.
Yeah.
They don't mean anything on Twitter.
I can't get my boomer relatives to understand what a shitpost is.
Right, like
so if is it looking different on your phone?
no.
Me neither. Like,
No,
it's one's blue, one's gray. I'm like, I'm on dark mode and I'm scrolling fast.
They're both white, I think, on mine.
Okay.
So they're, like,
Yeah.
but if you go to their profile and click it, it tells you.
You know how many times I've went to somebody's actual profile? Probably like 5 times total in Twitter ever.
I've done it a lot more now
To check
because of
to
this.
see, yeah.
Yeah, because I have like a set of images that I post.
Oh,
thanking
I know
people.
what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was motherfucker paid for Twitter. And I've pretty much any time that I see somebody with that, I post those and then just mute them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could block them.
But mute
But
is
I want to go make fun of them later again. if they
mute
pop
is
up.
so much better because like they might be able to see what I post.
Yeah.
Don't block. I don't want you to not see me. I just don't want to see you.
And there are people who are talking about like writing a script that can just find people that have like the blue or like the Twitter blue
Yeah.
and just auto blocking them.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, if that actually becomes a thing, I might,
I know there's a
I
couple
might do
people
that.
that I know
because
like
it'll dissuade people from wanting to.
yeah.
The more people that are signed up for that, so I was like, yeah.
One of my friends had Twitter blue in order to edit tweets because he had a couple of things that kept on going
Yeah.
semi-viral, and he needed to like, okay, if I mess up here and it's actually catching traction, let me be able to edit it. And he got the check mark, and I was like, good for you, because he works in like media, kind of like what we do,
Yeah.
and he has his own like not journalism necessarily, but he writes like blog posts and stuff for a website for a football team. So I was like, yeah.
My,
Good for you. But everybody else, like like just as redacted, not even saying that like I create content,
yeah.
but just as redacted online, and like wouldn't that be verified? Like you're verifying nothing.
Right.
It would be kind of ironic for redacted to be verified, though. Just I think that would be
That
kind
is-
of a
that is
funny
pretty
little
funny.
joke, to be. My whole thing is you don't know who I am, and then to verify that.
Yeah. Have you heard about like what Tumblr did as like a joke
Oh.
response to The whole Twitter thing?
Something with John Green. Because was it his whole...
Oh.
Didn't he have a bad thing happen on Tumblr? Or?
He's been on Tumblr for forever, so I'm not sure. But
Okay.
Tumblr has like launched a thing where you can pay them $8 and you get 2 check marks next to your name. And so like, oh, it's an even better deal.
That's great.
And you can do it multiple times. So there's people with like
Like 40 check marks on their fucking name. Well, it does make you feel a little bit better that people can take all these fucking emojis out of their name that wanted to look like check marks.
Right.
Like, you don't put a magnifying glass on your name, you fucking
I'm gonna put the
goofball.
little like Naruto sushi emoji.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, that's a long tangent. We went from
Yeah.
racism and heroin.
Yeah, to Jake being in the alt-right pipeline.
He's definitely the one. He's definitely
Yeah,
the
like
one.
the algorithm would be like, oh, hey, this is a little kid. Let's get him.
I would want to scroll Eddie's For You page, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah?
I want to see what... Or Roland's. God. Imagine. Imagine Roland's For You page after like a month of curation of him actually using it maybe an hour a day. You know?
God.
It probably wouldn't be great. He'd probably get stuck on like Woodmaker TikTok. That's just people doing like random shit and like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know? Oh God.
Yeah, he would definitely be on Creator Talk, like just watching people make cool shit.
And it wouldn't be like anything that we would even recognize. You know, it wouldn't be like you've seen some of those ones where they'll put like a whole bunch of veggie straws in a pipe and then cover it with like okay, you mind?
What?
So there's some videos where they'll have like a hole in something and they'll put like a random item in. Like one time they put like a fucking cockroach in it and they cover them up with like putty and then it hardens and then they sand it down and like paint it over and it still looks like a fucking car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Like one of them, it's just like the end of a pipe, and they'll fill it with like veggie straws. They don't even go anywhere. You know, it just kind of covers up, and they'll put like a piece of cardboard, and they'll put the putty over, and then they'll fucking sand it down and paint it. Oh,
Yeah. I've seen like people do it with like things of ramen noodles, like on brick walls.
yeah, the ramen noodle one too. Yeah. Why? What are you doing?
It's just for the funnies.
Is it funny?
To some people, apparently.
The things.
Not to me, but I'm like, oh, I do recognize this as people would find it funny.
I need you to send you the things that my brother sends me unironically, and you might have met him at my graduation thing. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm related to this man. The
Is
things
kind of like
your
what?
partner's friend.
Yeah.
10 times worse.
Oh wow.
It's not like awkward bad. It's cringe bad, and like that you think that like the couples pranking each other is a big one. Is a big one that he like sent like that he obviously faked, like obviously direct eye contact into the ring light as they're walking by, and then whoa, you can put that on my head. Oh, it's bad.
Is it like a hey, check this out, it's funny, or like hey, check this out, this is so bad?
No, like look at how funny this is. Ha 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 ha. And I will go through periods of actually blocking my brother on TikTok so he cannot send it to me. I will reply no with a period and then blocked. See you in a week. I'll block him for a whole week.
That's amazing.
Like you got to know. Now you come at me. You got to bring some good content, okay? Because I'll send the regular bullshit. I'll send. Most of my shit is just fucking. I like to send the ones that it's an ironic send, like the vote for president guy. Who was it we were talking about?
Oh, Brent Peterson. Brent Peterson, president of the United States.
And I love how low quality his phone is too.
Yeah.
It's so funny that like peak humor is somehow low quality video and Mike's distorting.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's the absolute funniest. Even I used to play Call of Duty before I got my mics and stuff. I had a really bad headset that if I talked into it like that, it sounded absolutely fucking like shit. So I used to like yell at my teammates like that, like I was giving orders. It was amazing. I mean, just the peak comedy is bad electronics.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was like a 20-minute tangent. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, we had fun.
I had a great time. I have like tears in my eyes. So, Booties and Wizard of Oz and Zordon.
So they in the weird combination of throne room and Blaine, they see like a throne made of green glass, that's about like over 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
And he sees like it's got the eye symbol on it as well. And then above the throne are 13 vertical cylinders of different colors with a black one in the middle, just like the gate. They start like yelling like, "Hello, is anybody there?" And the cylinders start like pulsing with like really bright lights. And panels like rise up on the wall. And at first they're like, what is this symbol? And they're like, wait, this is Blaine's map. Like his route map.
Oh, shit. God damn it. Here we are again. And this really freaks Jake out.
Oh, yeah.
It really gets to him. And it could have been better done. Because if you're going to have a character experience this much emotion, I think you need to have it be a little more scary to us.
Yeah.
You know? But.
So after that, they hear a voice like boom out from the, from like, you know, speaker somewhere in the wall. It kind of sounds like Blaine. But Eddie is just immediately like, shut the fuck up. Who are you actually?
Yeah.
Like you're not Blaine.
Especially if you've seen Wizard of Oz, you're like, okay, you're ready for this exact trick.
Right.
You know, this is what is supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah, I do love that throughout the scene. They're just like, okay.
We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we know
Now
what's
where are
going
you
on.
at? Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. I do like that he's doing the John Wayne impression, though. Again,
Yeah.
that's always fun.
Yeah,
That's
he
always a
is.
good time.
And at one point, like, he's trying to calm Jake down. He's like, even a pipsqueak can sound big through 12-speaker Dolby sound system. It has to sound big because it's a bum hug, Jake. And Jake's like, bum hug. And the voice doesn't like Eddie just brushing him off.
Jesus. Look at that text at the top. See how big it got?
Yeah.
That's him screaming. Holy shit, sorry.
What is he saying?
I am Oz.
Oh, I am Oz.
And there,
Okay.
the voice thundered. Like, holy shit. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, wow.
Because in the book, in the audiobook, he does get really loud when he yells that out.
Yeah, no doubt.
And like, yeah, we know who you are. You're Oz, the great and powerful. And Roland has a little thing where he's like, Oz. I know that's coming from your world, but I think that's a word from my world. I don't know what it means, but like, okay, sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Just claim what you want.
Yeah, this is kind of like a put Roland to the back, like, because everybody gets it.
Yeah.
Like, just shut up, Roland. Let's get through this. There's nothing here. There's going to be a man over there. Like, maybe Toto will go and bite his ankle, you know?
Yeah. And then the Oz, you know, asks them what they want. He's like, oh, do you want to go home? Do you want to go back to New York? And they're like, that isn't home for us anymore. Like, no, we just want to go back to the path of the beam.
He'd definitely probably send them all to the wrong times, too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like, send Jake back to the 60s, you know, Susanna in the 80s. I guess that'd be the way around. Susanna to the 70s and Eddie, fuck it, you know,
Yeah,
go
like-
back to 60s something.
The monkey paw.
So it's
kinda
like,
thing.
yeah, like, oh, yeah, you get what you wish for, but ha, 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 ha. Like, fucking dick.
And Oz is like telling them to go away.
Isn't it Oz the Great and Terrible? Isn't that what it is in the books?
I always thought it was Oz the Great and Powerful.
King has a reference in Pet Sematary where... Keep
Maybe
going.
it's one of those things where he calls himself both at different times.
Yeah, okay.
Like, now I want to look that up, but it's not the right time to look stuff up.
No, probably not.
And then basically Oz keeps telling him, like, no, fuck off, go away.
The whole come back tomorrow. Doesn't he do that
Yeah,
in
he
the
tells him to
movie?
come back
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Which, just weird.
Yeah.
As much of a letdown the movie is, I cannot believe he chose to include this in this book. I've never liked the ending of that. Like, that there's just... what was the point in Wizard of Oz of having somebody... What? I don't know. They have monkeys that can fly. Why does Oz have to be a guy behind a curtain?
Right. I mean, I liked that, but, like, than just like the, oh no, he left in the hot air balloon. But you can actually just click your heels and it's over. Like it just
This whole time you could have been and done it.
yeah, and like it just ends without really resolving anything.
It's yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I also haven't seen it since I was a kid.
And that's all I really remember. There might have been some more like things that they're trying to tell us, morals of the story or whatever it may be about it. But
Yeah,
he
like,
does just escape
like
in
the
a fucking
moral
hot air
of,
balloon, doesn't he?
All your friend.
I mean, if Team Rocket didn't teach us anything, a hot air balloon is not a good escape plan. You can't drive them. You just go in the air and hope.
Yeah.
What if it brings you back to the bad guys?
That just made me think of that bit from the Amanda Show where like they would have like the teen drama show,
Yeah.
and part of like the main character's dramatic backstory is that like her mom went missing. They think she's dead or whatever, but then every time like they talk about her, we just get a clip of like the actress who would play her mom in other skits like floating in a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Like just lost in the air basically.
What a terrible vehicle to invent. What is the point? I mean, I
Right.
would not ever want to go in one. That lack of control, you can go up and down. I bet you there is some kind of way to control them a little bit.
Yeah.
You're in a fucking balloon.
Yeah, like if you're in a hot air balloon, you pretty much need to just like stay roped to the ground, so that way like you can go up and look at stuff and then
Yeah.
go back down.
I guess I don't understand. If it were, they just find a field and drop it down in it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
It's yeah, like you said, it's not very.
They have
efficient.
like half of a hot air balloon is having sandbags tied to it to keep the balance right.
Right.
Like if sand is as high as an order of thinking as we're going is sand, no, I'm not trusting that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Bags of sand.
And then the way to go back down is to turn the engine off and just wait.
Yeah.
Like,
You need it to cool down.
yeah.
That's what you need. You need the air. Yeah. No thanks. No thanks.
How do we
at
get
all.
back down to the ground? Oh, we're falling. from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Basically, you fall with style.
Yeah. We're falling slowly, but we're falling, and that's our exit strategy.
All right.
Yeah. So Oz kind of has like a bit of a temper tantrum because they keep telling him like, no, fuck off,
Yeah.
and that go-
Holy shit. Oi, actually, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oi does actually grab his ankle. I read past that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
I thought it was funny.
I mean, it is. But it's terrible. It's terrible at the same
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So they go to the curtain and
Yeah.
like they rip away the curtain and Jake focuses like on the man sitting there, and oh, it's a familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie at first thinks it's Jonas, but
Mhm.
Jake's like, no, this is David Quick's grandson, the
Yeah.
TikTok man.
The TikTok man.
And of course, it's not a wizard at all.
No.
Never was. Never
No.
would be. And like they describe like how he looks now that he's like healed up some.
Mm-hmm.
Like his eyes like a white pussy mess. And,
Yeah.
Like he just looks all gross and fucked up.
I mean, I believe like it's muscle and like beneath the skin on the left side of his head,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like the skin got ripped off by Flag.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jake turns because he hears somebody say, "Oh, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain." And now there's somebody sitting on the throne.
There's an amazing word, tittered.
Titter.
Anytime that word comes in, you're like, oh shit.
The voice titters.
Yeah.
And it says on his jacket is a button with a pig's head with a bullet hole between the eyes. And he's also, and I'm like, we're in Jake's perspective. I was like,
Mhm.
Jake, how did you see that?
Just zoom, enhance.
And the guy stands. He's holding up a drawstring bag, which we all know, like they all immediately know. It's like, oh, that's the orb.
Yeah.
And I think TikTok jumps up and he has like a machine gun in the corner, and so he's going to go to town and like wipe these guys out. But they make short work of him.
Yeah. They drew in unison and basically fucking Pulp Fiction his ass. Just, pow, 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 pow. Oh shit.
Which I always kind of like that when like even though they haven't really done much to like become more powerful or anything.
Yeah.
I always love like in stories when a villain who was a huge threat before comes back and like now like the main character or the party's like grown or whatever and like
Yeah.
they're just kind of like, oh, you're nothing.
You're back. I was so weak when I faced you last
Like,
time.
we were scared of you.
Yeah.
You were a threat. One of my favorite like examples of that trope is in Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm.
So like they decide Toriyama decided like, oh, I want to bring Frieza back. But Goku beat Frieza as like Super Saiyan 1 and he's a Super Saiyan God now.
Oh boy.
And so like but they bring him back to life and Frieza's immediately like, oh, I want to go kill Goku. Like that motherfucker threw me in hell.
Yeah.
I got to go kick his ass. And they're like, he's so much stronger now. And Frieza's like, well, I've never actually trained a day in my life for fighting. So what if I trained now?
Oh no.
And then like he's just immediately as strong as Goku is up to this point.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me because he's just like, oh, yeah, I guess I could train for a fight. Like actually learn how to fight.
No. Oh no.
It's
Oh,
so
anime.
hilarious that that's
Oh, anime. Those are the things. It's so tough for me to get past with anime.
Well, like I mean, and it's very tongue in cheek. Like they know what they're doing with that.
and even if it's just I don't know. There's a lot of I just can't get past a lot of it. I'd love to. I'd love because there's so much I'm missing out on, and so much, but it's so just not great.
Yeah.
And if it's on purpose or not, it's not great.
Like a lot of the stupid stuff is done like on purpose to be a joke.
Yeah.
But I can definitely get that.
And I think that I mean, like Dragon Ball is much more aimed for a younger audience, correct? I guess not necessarily an adult anime because there are adult animes out there
definitely.
that do exist. That's where like I'd rather see an adult anime.
Yeah.
Actually watch.
Like most anime that like at least the ones that get popular here fall under like what they consider like shonen, which is like a classification of anime that's aimed at like young to teenage boys.
Really?
Like children and teenagers. Is and I can't remember the word for like anime that's like made with adults in mind, but most stuff that gets popular here falls under shonen.
Okay.
Be like your Dragon Ball, your One Piece, Naruto, My Hero Academia. Yeah, that's kind of like the. And we have that magazine like Shonen Jump, which I don't think they sell over here anymore. You have to just like subscribe to their app and read it like on your phone or on the computer. But yeah, so that's definitely like the intended audience.
Okay. And that's not me, so I don't feel too bad for not identifying with it.
Yeah. Though they also put Chainsaw Man and Shonen Jump, and like that's very not for kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so they light TikTok the fuck up. And then Roland finally speaks. He's like, Martin Broadcloak, after all these years, after all these centuries, finally in my sights.
Centuries. Oh,
Centuries, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Time is different.
Yeah, we just kind of brushed past that, but yeah, centuries. I mean, they palavered for a very long time.
They do say like his hair is gray and like centuries have gone by, but people still remember gunslingers.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing, you know.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's Martin. But one thing I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye out for, since they drew so much attention to that button. I'll be like, okay, we need to pay attention to that imagery going forward for sure.
Oh, that is in reference to Randall Flagg's character in The Stand.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how he appears.
Okay, and at one point in this chapter, I think later on, he does say that no, I am Randall, or I am Flag.
Yes.
So we learned that, Martin are Martin and Walter. That's one thing. Are they the same guy?
Depends on which iteration of book one you read.
Okay.
Wasn't in the beginning, but in my mind, Randall is Martin, is Walter, is everybody. Randall Flagg is that dude.
Because I'm like, at some points it treats them like they're different people, and some points
Yeah.
it treats them like they're the same.
You wanted to say that earlier, and I should have just let you because I was like, I don't remember if I've told him that or not. But yeah, I believe that Martin and said like they could have been brothers, but I've never seen them in the same room.
Right.
And then I was like, okay.
So I always just kind of had the idea that it's just a guy who wears different faces.
And in this same book, we had Walter O'Dim.
Yeah.
We had Walter O'Dim and Magus.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the name that he was going by at the time. But having Tittering Laugh, like, yeah, it's the same guy to me.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think we even talk about him later, but I think I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he raises his gun to like start shooting at him, and he's like, "That 6-shooter will do you no good," which I think you know by now.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucker. But he pulls the trigger anyways, and he just hears like a dull click.
And Randall's so great.
Yeah.
The first thing he says is "told you," instead of like "told you." It's Toad, Toadjer. Told you.
Told you.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And he tries to like talk him out of the quest for the tower. He's like, "You and your friends could have a wonderful life. No more monsters. No more lobsters. No more evil trains. Just go have a nice, peaceful life if you just decide to give up the tower."
Yeah, forsake the tower.
Yeah.
That was also Walter O'Dim's call to
Yeah.
Roland at the Golgotha was forsake the tower, go on about your life. You know, save the boy, forsake the tower, don't ever talk to me. You're good.
Yeah.
And that seems to be, we'll get into it later on with the last part of this book, but that's what they're wanting to do. It's just like say, give up, stop, and you'll be good.
That's part of my predictions. I have some notes on that as well.
I don't know. Do I need to know your predictions? I don't know. I try to, maybe I could like listen to them like this so you can't see my reactions, see if you're right or not.
I'll just make eye contact with the camera.
But yeah.
But I always think that's a fun thing to throw forward at the end of the book.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. And everybody, like, we get a thing where it's just like one after another. It's like Eddie said no, Susanna said no, Jake said no, Oi barked no.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out he holds up like the drawstring bag, and it's like glowing so bright that the pink light is like shining through it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like, "What if I give you this?
Yeah.
Like, how about I sweeten the deal?"
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Roland also says no. And then he smiles, which freaks out Flag.
Hold up.
Yeah, he's like, wait, why are you smiling?
I should
I'm the
have you
smiler.
got right here.
I'm the smiley guy.
Yeah, I'm the jokes. I'm
Even
the
if you
jokester.
say no, why are you smiling?
Yeah.
Um,
Like that scene in fucking. Oh no, Die Hard. When they're supposed to start laughing. If Roland were to pull a Die Hard, I'd be so fucking happy.
oh my god, I would love that.
Like Jake and Eddie setting him down and telling him what Die Hard is and telling him how to do it would be fucking amazing. Like to throw it into the 21st century,
Yeah.
you know? Could Jake be a child of the 90s and Eddie like our age?
Like if it was modern,
Yes. I think it'd be great.
I think so. Like I
Maybe
think,
even aged up a little, like 35, 36. I think he'd still,
yeah,
where he'd be about, because
he still needs to be about like 10 or so in like
Yeah.
Jake's timeline.
see, like Jake would know about like Reagan, and where Eddie would know about 45 T Daddy. So
Oh, that hurt me to hear you say that, T Daddy.
I like refuse to say his name most of the time. I just give him nicknames. So yeah.
I think there's a podcast that I was listening to that they were just referring to him as DJ. I think it was on Mabim.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, so Flag is like recounting how they met in the wreck of Gilead before Roland and his pals set off for the tower. And then Roland pulls out Eddie's gun, like the Ruger that they brought from his world. And he's like,
Jake's
"Oh."
gun. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You're good.
And he's like, well, maybe your magic only works on guns from this world, so let's try this one. And he drops the glass ball because he's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, you're right.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Can I? I don't know.
And then Roland, like, his gun gets like caught on his belt buckle or something.
I believe like the iron sight at the barrel of it got
Yeah.
snagged in something. It said it took about a quarter of a second.
Yeah.
That's all that slowed him down, but it was enough.
It was enough for Flag to disappear in a puff of smoke. And then the ball's there, glowing pink. Roland picks it up and he's like, thinking about smashing it.
I wouldn't, because I wouldn't know what was inside of it.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to collapse the universe? Is this a black hole in here?
Right.
What is this? That'd be the scariest part for me.
Right. Like, I don't think that I could, like, smash it or give it up. Like, because, like, oh, this is showing me stuff.
You go full golem.
And I'm like, I have, like, that, like, fucked up curiosity where I'm like, I know it's going to be bad for me, but I want to know.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Just dude scrolling through the ball, just holding the orb in one hand. Just...
Oh, man. I wish this book was bigger because that'd been a viral joke right there. Whatever. Maybe I'll pay for the check mark.
Go on Tumblr and pay for 2. And so, before he looks into it though, he kind of hears like a voice telling him that he needs to, you know, kind of finish the part of the story that he's been leaving out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, if we continue as a quartet, there can't be any secrets. So I got another story for you guys.
Yep.
And it says like, don't show them or don't tell them, show them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like they all kind of gather around the ball and look.
Yeah. Mine's told in complete italics.
Oh, is it really?
Yep.
Nice.
Strange.
So let me go to the last one here, and then
So basically, the way that they are in the ball is that they're all in the room.
yeah, so they're all brought into like a vision.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like they instantly realize that they're in Gilead,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all 4 of them except for Roland. Like Roland's not there, but Jake, Susanna, Eddie, and Oi are, and they are watching events unfold around them.
For sure.
Nobody can see or hear them, which takes them a while to like realize and come to terms with.
Another thing I'd want to see if this was on screen.
Yeah,
I have a moment here where young Roland walks past Jake,
yeah,
and like within mere like inches of him, and he doesn't see him. On screen, Jake should dissipate into smoke and then reform into like pink
Yeah.
smoke. That'd be fucking badass.
yeah.
If you'd have him walk through him, you know, like if fucking Supernatural can do it, y'all can do it. Come on now. I'm rewatching Supernatural and it's fucking amazing. It's not good, but it's so good at the same time. Like, it's like watching shitty horror and being okay with it being shitty.
Yeah.
You know, because there's some good points in there, but it's also very melodramatic, like very over the top, and I love it. It's so good.
I've only seen the last episode of Supernatural.
I forgot you said you did that. Didn't you do that for like a podcast or something?
No, it gave me the idea for a podcast, but I was like, I don't think that could work.
That's so funny because I stopped like 6 years ago, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like what you know and what I know is probably very close to a complete puzzle.
Yeah.
But I'll like do it while I'm playing games or something or reading something for work.
Yeah.
And it's very fun. They're 45 minutes long, and that's a little long for like, especially this show has like 20 episode seasons.
And it's kind of like Monster of the Week type
Yes,
stuff.
and a lot of them are just filler episodes.
Yeah.
There is an overarching like plot.
Yeah. And
Usually
it's
for
one of
the-
those ones where like 2 or 3 minutes of each episode kind of moves
Kind of
part
like,
the plot
you
forward.
know, we should be hunting these vampires, but right now we need to go in here and deal with this Ouija board that's working. You know, it's like that's like all the setup they have. And they have
Yeah.
some. I believe Bob Odenkirk is one of a character, the guy from Better Call Saul.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like a recurring character, and
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
I love Odenkirk. He's fantastic.
Why is he? What is so likable about him? Because I'm watching Better Call Saul for the first time ever now,
Yeah.
and I love it. I don't know what else he's been in besides. I mean, like you recognize very recognizable face.
I mostly have seen him in comedies, and
Yes.
um,
I'd say they brought him into Breaking Bad to be a comedic factor.
Oh, yeah,
for it,
absolutely.
you know,
like
and it's
he's just also turns out he's really good at dramatic roles.
he's a very good actor. I've liked everything that I've watched so far. It's interesting that in Better Call Saul that it's like they're giving me fucking blue balls. Not even going by Saul yet. Like, God damn it, change your fucking name, become a sellout. I want to see this. I want to see this guy. All right.
I haven't watched any of it yet.
Oh,
I
yeah,
need
you've seen
to.
Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah,
Okay, the first 3 seasons, he's not even Saul yet.
yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
I do know that. One of my favorite things about Breaking Bad is that it's such a heavy dramatic show,
Yeah.
and then like 3 of the main people are the goofiest motherfuckers in the world.
Yeah. With how, like, scary Gustavo is.
Yeah,
And then you have Jesse.
yeah.
You know?
Like, Aaron Paul is so funny.
He's hilarious. And
Like,
I can't believe they were supposed to kill that character off. That'd have been the biggest mistake.
Yeah.
That show wouldn't have stood, I think, after season 2.
yeah,
Because he really that relationship between Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston as Walt and Jesse is amazing.
I remember like when it was first coming out, people were like, "The motherfucker from Malcolm in the Middle."
And that's what I never watched it. I was just like, I don't care
Yeah,
necessarily. You know, I was like, I don't. You know, he's a chemistry teacher. He sells meth. That's all I really got. And it's the guy from Malcolm. I'm like, I don't really care about that too
Yeah.
much. But I ended up watching it on Netflix. I think before the last season ended.
yeah. I think we didn't get into it until it was already finished.
Yeah.
Or maybe like as the last season was coming out.
And see, I wish I would have. They never did episodical releases on episodical. Is that a word?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Episodical releases on Netflix back when those were coming out. I don't think.
No, they normally don't. Like even with their own shows. Like I've seen a few where they've done that with. Yeah. There was one show that I was watching that it was coming out on Netflix like the day after it was on TV.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't remember what it was, but like, and I only found that out because I was watching through it all, and then like got caught up to what I thought was the last episode, and I was like, "That's how it ends."
Yeah.
And then the actual last episode came out like a day or 2 later. And I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
Oh, that makes more sense.
That's really cool. Big fan of being able to. But I think that I watched I got live to Breaking Bad, and I think I held out every year until it came out on Netflix. I used to do that with Walking Dead too in the very beginning. I wouldn't watch it on AMC.
Yeah.
I'd wait until it came out on Netflix the following year. Fucking Mad Men. What did I have with my time? What did I do with my life? That would drive. There's so many ways I could watch things now. Like I got 5 illegal sites to watch a fucking basketball game. You know, if I want to watch something, I'm gonna watch it. You know, the only reason I pay for shit is because I have a
It makes it
fucking
simpler.
honest bone in my. Yeah, it makes it simpler, and sometimes I do feel a little guilt. That's the only reason I pay for shit. You know,
like, yeah. Honestly, I will pay for stuff if it's simpler than. But if they make it too goddamn complicated, like it's getting pirated.
or like God, there's with basketball ideally. So we are. I don't know if you know much about the NBA basketball at all, but we're in Kansas. I think I'm told we live in Wichita, so it's not too big of a thing. Oklahoma City Thunder. They're in Oklahoma City, obviously. We have the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and there's one more team that steals us all the fucking time. Maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, which is weird because they're way the fuck out there. But I cannot watch a game if it's at any of those people's courts, because the NBA thinks that I should have my local Fox channel should be showing that game, and it pisses me the fuck off, especially with OKC, because I used to be a big OKC fan before my favorite player left.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to watch a game, and I can't watch home games because they're supposed to be showing it. But I live in Wichita. I don't have Fox Sports Oklahoma. I have Fox Sports Kansas, and it's showing me fucking bowling in Beijing right now. You know, that's what they want to show me. And then, it's so frustrating. Like,
there's so many stupid like licensing stuff with them too, and like
the fact that I can't. I told you about that game day thing for football last week, where it's like there's like 10 games going on, and I was like at fucking a 10 the whole day.
The ADHD football. Yeah.
Yes, it was actually just a 1 week trial that I had, I guess, that I used up, but I didn't do it this week, thank God. But the fact that there's 2 games on, there's 2 games out of probably 8 that I can choose from. And if it's, say I'm a fan of a team on the West Coast or the East Coast, I have to pray and hope that the Chiefs in Kansas City or the Dallas Cowboys aren't on. And just hope, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, I cannot believe in, and you can't pay to get around that. There isn't a way that you can pay for something else. Say like, no, I want to watch this game because we are in a certain cable area where the games are so like, no, you have to watch these games in this area.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's very dumb.
I could not imagine being a fan of a team that I couldn't watch every day, every week.
Yeah.
You know, like being as much as I am into sports, like you can't watch it. And highlights, and you can't do reruns of sports. It's so live. It's so right now, especially the way, you know, social media is.
Yeah.
Half of the fun of the Super Bowl is being on Twitter. It's the best night for Twitter for me.
Yeah.
There's so many jokes. There's so many things going on. There's so much conversation and things happening. The FOMO of not being on Twitter during the Super Bowl will keep me in my phone more than I am watching the game. It's just amazing. I love it. So,
Yeah.
tangent.
No, I totally get that. Like we've said, I'm not a sports guy, but
Yeah.
even I fucking will be very, very much like, yeah, I'll watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And also like be watching like all the jokes and stuff.
Oh, for sure. And if you're, yeah, it depends on probably on what side of Twitter you're on. Because I've noticed that there's a lot of people that, you know, you can see like somebody likes something or somebody follows whomever, and you see like, okay, these are my genre of friends that follow this side. These are my sports friends. These are whatever it may be. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I do think it's cool that Twitter has that. I never use it. I'm always on like the most recent.
Oh, do you? I don't ever go to that tab.
Yeah.
Only because sometimes those are popping. those little suggested tweets are really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Some
I imagine. But
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want the algorithm.
I like the based on your retweets, and I'm like, you're fucking right. This is hilarious. I'm gonna retweet this. I like to kind of give Twitter a bone sometimes. Like, yeah, that is something I would retweet. Retweet. All right.
So yeah, we're
Chapter 4, the glass.
Yeah.
We're getting sucked into the pink ball, and we basically have, does Susanna have legs?
She does, yes.
Yes.
She does in this vision.
Black legs. Because this happens in another dream later on in the story, and they're not black legs. And I've wondered what the fuck that was about. It's strange. We'll get to it.
Odd.
Yes.
I don't think it specifies.
Okay.
I wouldn't have expected it to.
Yeah. It does in a different book, and I was wondering.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So this is they're seeing like a story from Roland's life. It's after he's gotten back from Magus. And he walks down the hall, and he knocks on the door, and like they all, or at least Jake, because Jake's heard the story, or heard the story here.
I think he told him that this happened.
Well, so he thinks that he's about to see a different scene, because he thinks like, oh, this is when Roland went to go see his mom and saw that she was with.
Oh, she was fucking Flag.
Yeah.
Or Marlon. Yeah. Martin
and had,
Arlen.
like the bite mark on her neck and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he recognizes like, oh, that's where we are right now in the castle.
Yeah.
But it's not there. It's way past that. But he knocks on the door and goes into the room, and they kind of follow in after him. And he's like looking around for his mom. Doesn't see her, so he like kind of like calls out for her, like, "Hey, are you in your chambers?"
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie spots like a pair of shoes behind a curtain. So somebody is like doing the cartoony thing of
Yeah,
behind
what?
a curtain.
So weird, right?
Right. So Roland's like still kind of looking around, and let me see. They kind of give I lost my notes again. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
And so the woman who was hiding behind the curtain like steps out, and like she kind of is sneaking up to Roland, and they say that she had like a snaky look.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's holding something that has a snaky look.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake then like looks over and he sees the wizard's glass is there in the room with them on one of the tables.
Mm-hmm.
And Roland turns and he doesn't see his mom. He sees Rhea.
I believe he sees her in the mirror, right? He
Like,
spots
he sees
her out
movement in the mirror.
of a mirror, and I didn't know if he recognized Rhea in the mirror because that's what Jake did.
Yeah.
Jake was somehow looking in the mirror to see the person's face, and it like describes her looking all nasty, right?
Yeah.
And Roland basically turns around and just fucking unloads on what he thinks is Rhea.
Yeah, and he just
Turns out being his mom.
Yep.
Just shoots her dead right in the
Yeah.
fucking chamber.
And the thing that like kind of looked like a snake, we find out is like
A new belt for
that
him,
she had,
yeah.
like, woven for him, and
Yeah.
like it even stitched his initials in.
Yeah.
And then Jake turns and does see Rhea's face. And like she actually kind of talks to Jake.
Yeah.
Like she's here in the vision with him. And again she says, you know, cry it off, renounce the tower.
Mm-hmm.
You see what a monster you're traveling with. You know, he will kill all of his friends. He'll leave everybody behind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust him.
Yeah.
Abandon the tower, abandon him.
They even mentioned this Jamie DeCurry. They mentioned this guy a couple of times.
Yeah.
You remember anything about him?
No, I do remember the name, but
He's in book 8, and I've never read about him. Don't know what it is. Don't know who he is. I just know he's a guy. He's like another gunslinger with Roland. I have no idea. Obviously, I guess Roland kills him.
yeah,
No idea what happens there. So I'm interested in getting to that one of these days.
yeah.
Maybe for my 40th birthday.
And then, I think. Wait, no, he tells us that later. So Jake reaches out to like take the wizard's glass,
Mm-hmm.
but before he can touch it, it flashes pink, and they wake back up.
Yeah.
And so they come to their senses, and they are lying in like a small clearing outside, like near some trees. Susanna's wheelchair is sitting nearby. It's got mud on its tires, like they had been off the road, but they're back on it now.
Yeah.
Eddie says, time has slipped again. Roland's world was like a transmission with its gear teeth all but stripped away. You never knew when time was going to pop into neutral or race you away in overdrive.
Yeah.
Eddie's looking around. He says he sees like everybody else is asleep. But he looks around. He does see the Green Palace again, but it's like 30 miles behind them.
Yeah.
So they're like way on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And Jake wakes up and he's like, well, where's the turnpike? And you know, he says, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Of course.
Not a reference, just a statement, like they point out.
Yeah.
Just an observation.
Yeah. Not the one where Kansas City Royals play. Not the one where the Monarchs play either.
Yeah. But no, so they realize that they are now back on the path of the beam.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie's like, well, we're still wearing the red shoes, so we should they're not bright and shiny anymore. They are dull.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like a dark red.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he at one point says like it's like dried blood almost.
Yeah.
They notice that Roland is like sitting and like staring off into staring off into space. But once he realizes they're awake, he begins to sob. And you know, they try to comfort him. They're like, "It wasn't you. You didn't kill your mom. Rhea killed your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not your fault." But he doesn't see it that way.
No.
And then we get a thing where Eddie's not blaming Rhea, he's blaming Ka itself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's interesting.
I love that. You remember in the first time that they were going up to Tull or Lud, and Eddie was hoping that the city was full of like elves that would help him along, and then they open up their packs of food, And it's cookies with Keebler elves on the packages. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Flag is such a fucking dick.
Yeah, so they realize they have like all this food with them.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, oh, who packed it?
Yeah.
And Eddie's like, obviously the Keebler elves, duh.
Yeah.
I'm like, shut up.
Oh, what a dickhead. I love it. And Nozilla.
Yeah, Nozzle soda tastes like Coke, and it's in a red and white packaging.
Yeah.
It's not Coke.
I love whenever just a little thing is off about a universe.
Yeah.
Just a little thing, you know.
I'm like, is this a reference? It's
I don't
obviously not
reference.
it's obviously not a like, oh, well, we can't say Coke, so we're going to say this because they keep comparing it to Coke.
Yeah. And we already had the Takiro Spirits and the Kansas City Monarchs instead
Yeah.
of all that. So, yeah. There's some things that are.
Yeah, it's
Different.
interesting. He finds a scrap of paper. Again, there's some blah 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 columns, so it's from that same newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, there's a message that says, "Next time I won't leave. Renounce the tower. This is your last warning, and have a great day. RF," with a smiley face drawn next to it. Aw.
It's great, ain't it?
Yeah. And then there's like a cloud with a lightning bolt.
I want to go back and listen to the audiobook and see what liberties does he take with what's it called? Oh god, what's it called whenever you like go away from the script in a book?
It's not abridged. 'cause
Yes,
that's like
yes,
taken
unabridged.
away from, yeah.
So abridged would be whenever you're not reading exactly what's here. Unabridged is never. That's how King has to have his books done.
Yeah.
Is unabridged. You read what I wrote. I wrote it because so. So I'm wondering what he said here. Maybe
Yeah.
like a cloud with a little lightning bolt. I don't know. That's one of the very few times that I've seen a setup, below that a little drawing, and then actually have something. Not like a below that a little drawing of a cloud and a thunderbolt, then like showing it.
Yeah.
Or a lightning bolt.
I don't remember what he did.
Oh, neither. It's probably not important, but
Yeah. So then Jake's talking, and he wonders like how TikTok and Randall got there ahead of them,
mm-hmm.
and Eddie's just like, probably a door. There's
Yeah.
doors all over the place here.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, smartass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
probably a door.
Dickhead.
Roland has like kind of been quiet, but then he kind of like tells them, you know, it's good advice.
Yeah.
On the paper there, you probably should consider it at least.
Mhm.
And he's like, if you want to go back to your world, I will allow you to go. And I was like, what do you mean you'll allow them? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like you had any control of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, how? How you get
Right.
me back here? We took a train from Lud to Topeka, and then we just went through a highway on Turnpike 70 and met up with the Kingdom of Oz, and now we're on the other side of it. How the fuck are you gonna get me back to New York?
yeah,
In my year, whatever maybe.
right. And like,
Dickhead.
if one of those doors appeared and gave me the choice, would you just not have allowed me to go earlier? Would
Yeah.
you be like, no, I'll shoot you before you walk through the door. I wouldn't believe that either. But and he's even saying, I'm not sure I can risk putting you in danger again. I think maybe I found something more important than the tower. I'm like, oh, shit, okay.
Mm.
Yeah. And Susanna's like, no, we are connected and being like pushed by Ka. As like scary as it might be, like as scary as like the threat of, whatever's at the tower and whatever you might do is, I think the idea of no Ka is even scarier.
Mm.
And then Eddie's like, you're missing the biggest part of this, man. Even if you wanted to send us back, you couldn't. Like, even if there was a door, like you couldn't make a door, and even if there was one, we wouldn't go through it.
Yeah.
Like, we were choosing to stay here.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're staying here.
Yeah. And he's like, it's Ka. And Roland's like, Ka.
He said the thing.
I said the thing. He made a joke. Ah!
Amazing.
And then Susanna does ask him, like, okay, hey, I got some questions about what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So like, first, why was your mom being a fucking weirdo, hiding behind the curtains?
Yeah.
And Roland's like, well, she wanted to surprise me with the present, and she was probably just like embarrassed about everything.
Yeah, he said that she was coming to beg for forgiveness, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "You sure about that, boss?
Yeah.
You sure about that?"
Yeah. I'm like,
And you know, a man and his mom. That's you really can't do much about that. You know, a lot of yeah.
And Roland says that like somebody stole the wizard's glass, because that was the last time until now that he had seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Because after he killed his mom, he does what he does best, and he passed out.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. He does not faint again.
He does faint again.
No, he
He
doesn't.
passes out, and then when he comes to, like, nobody's come to check on them.
I lay fainted away by my mother's corpse. Jesus fucking Christ, Roland.
And somebody, while he was fainted, came in the room and took the orb. Like, it's gone now.
There needs to be a faint count. I need to at least. I'm not going to because I don't want to go back and watch fucking 40 hours of podcasts. How many times has he fainted?
Right? That's what he does best.
That's insane. That your your badass titular character of book 1 is a fainter. Oh, great heavens. I mean,
so funny to me.
this is at least like the 5th time. Has he fainted a time a book?
Minimum.
Okay. 3. Drawing to the 3, he might have gotten a couple in there.
He got a lot in there, I'm pretty sure, dude. He was fucked up with that book.
Okay. Wastelands, he definitely fainted when he like saw Jake or something, right? Didn't he faint like right after that? Like, huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with this dude? He faints. That's
He's
so
got an
funny.
iron deficiency.
He's got the big iron on his hip. How you got an iron deficiency? Come on now.
He's not taking his supplements.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah, so he passed out. They took the ball before he woke up.
Oh my God.
And Jake's asking him about like the Stormclap drawing on the note, and he's like, "Oh, I think that is referencing a place called Thunderclap,
Yeah.
and that's probably where we'll meet Flag again.
Yeah.
That's going to be on our path, I'm sure, and that's where we'll meet him again."
Yeah.
And they think about like, well, I wonder if this plague could travel between the worlds. Like, has it followed us here to where we are now? Could it go back to New York?
Mm-hmm.
To our New York? Could it go to our Kansas?
Yeah. I wish you'd have read The Stand, 'cause this would be a fun one to talk about.
Yeah, I really need to get back in there.
It's good.
Yeah.
But like with Flag being in it, and like if the plague, the communicability rate is like 99.999%. Like basically, if you see somebody, like the death rate is like 99.998%. Fucking crazy. So if there were still plague germs, I don't know how far after the beginning of the plague is, because the people that survive are like obviously immune.
Yeah.
You know, God, even in the book, like people have babies, and a couple of the babies die of the fucking plague, because it's not like birth, it's not like your family's. It's just like, you know, 1 kid out of 10 is good, and their mom, dad dies, and whatever. Here you go.
Look.
Yeah, it's messed up.
And so this is where Susanna then asks, like, well, who is the Crimson King? And Roland just is like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wish I did, but
I know not.
I know not.
Yeah.
And then they head off along the path of the beam for the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
And that
They
is
just
the
keep
way
him
it
moving,
is.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just reading this again because it was, yeah.
And that has felt like, of these books, probably like the most like classical, like an actual ending.
Yes.
Because all of them kind of like leave off in like the middle of the action or something.
I mean, we had.
Or
I do like him sleeping on the beach after book
yeah,
1.
yeah. That,
I like
I was
that
going
one
to
a
say
lot.
that's that one also. But I guess after 2 and 3, I was like,
Yeah.
both of those kind of had like weird endings.
Yeah.
And so with this, I was just like, oh, it's just like, okay, we're walking off onto our next step.
Thank God I get to put this book up. It's been out for so long. Goodness. So yeah, we are done. Wolves of the Kala. So I don't remember the questions I usually ask, but I'm gonna try to remember.
Okay.
The book out of 10.
Out of 10, let's say.
Oh wait, I wonder how long I've been muted.
Oh no.
I wonder how long. Check.
Oh, your cord just fell out when you tapped it.
Well, you talk more than I do. So I'm fine with it. I'd rather it be me being the one that fucked up, not you. You do our recaps, you know. Yeah. I think we're good.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess, a 7 probably.
A 7 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how you feeling about the series?
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, still excited to move forward.
Do you feel like we learned anything in this book? Did we glean any new information about what the fuck is going on?
I think like for the overall action, we learned, we were introduced to the wizard's glasses, and like we know that the other glass balls are going to be super important going forward.
Yeah.
We are introduced to what I think is going to be a big plot point. And this was part of my predictions as well. I think that Flag, Martin, Walter, whatever, he's scared of Roland. Because this, and like, it's kind of made sense with some of the other like confrontations they've had. He doesn't try to stop him. He does not try to. He is asking him every time, like, please stop your quest.
Yeah. Stop going towards the tower.
Yeah.
Live a happy life. Save the boy. Just continue on about your day.
Yeah,
leave this
please
alone.
Just leave me alone.
Yes.
Like stop coming for us.
It reminds me of like a kid like asking too many questions.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to know the answer to this. Just go on about your day and keep it moving.
And so I think that, our bad guys know that they can't stop Roland. Like I think that if he tried to like push a conflict here, Roland would have won. They would have found out a way to win. And
Oh, that's interesting because Roland does always seem to have a little bit of a hope, of like this doesn't work, so this might. And so whenever immovable object and unstoppable force meets, Roland's gonna win.
Yeah.
Just in some way, he's gonna win.
he's got the anime protagonist powers.
Yeah. Do you think that's like? Is he destined? Have we talked much about destiny in this book? Has there been a destiny feel? Because I don't remember if this is necessarily a destiny story.
It feels like there's a small amount. Like Ka is definitely like destiny, and it is pushing him forward. It feels like Ka, whatever that force is on his side.
Okay.
I don't think it's like as strong of a like destiny story as like like this is what will happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it feels like this is like what the force of the universe wants,
Gotcha.
and so it's going to help it out.
Okay.
But like back to like the thing about Walter, like once Roland does actually try to fight him, he dips the fuck out.
Yeah. Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he does stuff to try to scare him off, but it's like a Scooby-Doo villain. Like he's just trying to scare him off. He can't actually do anything to him.
It's like if Roland doesn't leave under his own accord, it doesn't count. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't make that decision, then you can't stop him.
Yeah. And so like as like strong and powerful as we are led to believe Walter is, I don't think he really is.
It's interesting.
Or at least Roland is stronger.
Yeah. So what other predictions do you have? Because I'm going to really try to maintain a straight face here. Maybe I should just be like the whole time and be goofy. so you can't tell. Wow.
Just doing like the like the Wojak face, just like. So most of my predictions are kind of like laying on that. Like, I think that we will see, another maybe one or two confrontations where it is not you know, like I think he's not going to be able to try to stop him. He's just going to try to keep convincing him.
Okay. You think that Flag's gonna be big in the next book?
I don't know if he'll be big in like the next book, but like I think that there will at least be a big scene with him in either book 5 or 6.
Okay.
Because we know he's not like the big bad.
Mm-hmm. We don't know. Like I truly believe that he is the good man. That Randall Flagg is the good man, because the character Randall Flagg in The Stand is much more good manish than he is just hang around.
Farson?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Like he's also Farson.
Yes.
But I still think like for the Dark Tower, I think that he has somebody above him.
Okay. That makes sense. He seems like
whoever the Crimson King is, Walter's working for him.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I think that's my biggest prediction is like that they are worried about, like they're scared of Roland.
I like that.
They know that he can stop them, and they can't do anything about it.
I wish we were another 3 books in, because I have so many more things to key off of that. But maybe. I mean, it's going to take until like 3 pages left in the last book for us to be able to talk about any of this. So I'm kind of like, okay.
And then that's really my like.
That's your main one. Yeah.
Position,
Yeah.
Ones.
Is anybody going to die in the next book? Because you thought somebody might, or we thought that a lot of people would die in Magus, because we know all those characters have a doomed fate.
I thought all the like flashback characters would die.
Are we losing any main Kautet characters in this book? Are we gaining any? We've gained. This is the first book we've gone without gaining a Kautet member.
Yeah.
There's Oy. Oy was last book, right? He was in the Wastelands. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that anyone will die. Like structurally, I'm trying to think of like, you know, how most. I don't think anyone will die in the next book.
Mm-hmm.
I think books 6 and 7, nobody's safe.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could see book 7, like Roland being the only one who makes it to the end.
That's honestly why I brought that up, because I asked you. King keeps on saying that he doesn't know, like, who's going to make it to the Dark Tower, if anybody does.
Yeah.
Is it Roland? Is it Jake? Is it Eddie? Is it Susanna? Or are they all 5 going to be making it, you know? So our first hint of somebody maybe not making it was obviously the Oy thing. And then we say everybody that Roland is friends with dies. So it's like foreboding for all of these people. You know, that's not great news if you're a big fan of Jake and Eddie, you know?
Yeah.
So we can always hope that things change. I could see this book going on with Roland dying. Like, I think that could be a very strange thing to do with, but these books do get strange. So I'm gonna say nothing is off the table.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. What did you have another prediction you want to get to? My eyes twitching like I'm a fucking old man.
None. No, I don't think so. Like that was basically my main thing, is that like Randall is scared of.
I like that. That's a good call. I like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because I know that I've read a story that's had like a similar thing before, where like when you looked back, you realized like, oh, they were not actually trying to fight because the big bad couldn't fight them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a similar thing going on here.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's a good take. We're doing Wolves of the Colin next, and I've shown you this book before, but I want to refresh your memory. We have what looks to be Doctor Doom on here with a lightsaber and on a horse with also another ball here. So a little bit of ball imagery.
Oh, and from what I'm seeing, it looks like that might be the black one?
Maybe black, right? So just from the front, very interesting. We have something going on.
One thing I was gonna actually ask about if we're reading that next, because isn't like their
technically
short story
When Through the Keyhole is right now. It takes place right now.
Didn't he write that like after the series though?
So I was gonna go chronologically.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I think between the 4th and 5th book, he put out that short story.
Ooh, the
Sisters of something.
Sisters of Illyria.
Yeah.
Illyria.
So I was thinking maybe we could do an episode on that.
I'd be down, or even a half episode, or let's see how long it is, and then we can do that.
Okay, cool.
Let's game plan for both. So
Okay.
let's see if we are to just go straight into this. Oh man, starts off so good. I do like this book.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker. I forgot about this. Opening page. This book is for Frank Mueller, who hears the voices in my head. He got in his car wreck while he was writing this book. The audio voice guy. Yeah. Got in his car wreck and died for this. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot he did that. That's such good callback. So we could go. Oh, I like the way they do this.
I guess they're describing it as like a novella, but it's also in like an anthology book that I
Bag of Bones. What is it?
Legends.
Legends. What the fuck is that?
Or everything's eventual.
Everything's eventual. Yeah.
It was published in there too.
Okay.
At one point, they even I guess published it with a like packaged together with the Dark Tower, the Gunslinger.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder if it's that important. I've never read it.
Oops,
You know.
There'll be a new one for both of us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Like, I'm just trying to look up like length.
The fuck.
So it was like a 66-page novella.
Okay.
Which is hard to judge.
That's like probably like 30 minutes on audiobook. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
This was what, an hour and a half for like 80 pages?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say if we choose to do that, we can probably, I don't even know, like before we get to, I don't even fucking remember, dude. Yeah. Let's say we'll get to chapter 3, Mia.
Okay.
Of this, and maybe if we're like, we just both fly through it, we'll go to chapter 4, Palaver.
Okay.
And then we'll do Little Sisters of Illyria, and maybe Little Sisters of Illyria. We'll do that first.
Okay.
And then we'll start off this and kind of decide how we do it. Okay.
Right on.
Cool enough, man. I'm ready to get this into high gear. There's some really fun things in this one. That this is actually the first physical book that I read for this series.
Oh, nice.
I had read, the other ones through audiobook, and I was like, wow, I got them. I actually bought these for a friend because he said he would read them, and he stopped in Wastelands. He wouldn't continue on. I was like, you motherfucker. Yeah, asshole. So I went and I got it took it.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to have a, hardcover.
Yeah.
Not just these little, but for walking around and keeping them in backpacks and shit, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's it. I think we did it.
All right.
I think we've done it.
I think so.
I think we've done it.
I think we did the dang thing.
I think we did. So, yeah, y'all stuck around, or you're watching this in the future or the past.
The future.
Go and like, subscribe, do all the notifications things, turn on the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter if it's still around. Maybe Twitter doesn't exist by the time you're watching this, and we just don't have it. But it was at redacted_posts. That's me.
And I'll be at Mr. Jakey Poo wherever we decide to go.
Yeah, on whatever social media.
Not Mastodon unless they fix it.
Can we go to old T Daddy's platform? What's that called? 45.
Oh God. Oh yeah, let's go find DJ's site.
Oh man,
about our podcast on there.
It'd be fun.
The Truth Social.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What a fucking cornball of a name.
Yeah.
It's so lame. Such a loser. But yeah, thank y'all for stopping by. I'm enjoying the shit out of this reread, and I can't wait to get out. So happy that we're out of that book. I feel like I'm rejuvenated a little bit because that was a slog there for quite a bit, and I'm ready to bring y'all some more content and to get through this book because it's a fucked up one, man. It's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there.
All
So
right.
yeah, I mean, there's fucking lightsabers on the front. What do you expect with that? So until next time, I'm Redacted, and this is Jake. That's how I used to do my Joe Cat Alarm Dog podcast sign off. That was so weird. Alarm Dog and this Joe Cat. I don't remember how the fuck we used to do it. Anyways, fuck you. See you later. Mind your goddamn business.